What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dragonryder Media. I'm your host, Dragonryder, baby. We're doing something different today. I'm here with my homie Bleeves Crypto,
What
baby.
is going on,
Let's
man?
go, man. It's exciting stuff, dude. We're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna get into some shit, right? some hot topics, so to speak. Well, before we really get into some of these topics that might set some people's brains on fire, man, what do you think, man? What is going on with crypto right now, bro? This is nuts.
It's absolutely crazy. But
I didn't think I had an expectation that that we was going to hit maybe 60, maybe at the lowest, maybe 67K, but fuck, we hit like 63 territory. I don't even know what Bitcoin is right now. It's 62,796 right now. Yeah. Wow.
It's been it's been catastrophic, but it's been that way for a while, and basically, look, this is not as big as that last dump from Wintermute, but it's been catastrophic. It's clearly been a catastrophic run, and I don't know what to say other than, I guess you have to really kind of be a conspiracy theorist to reckon on this. Wintermute sold out tons and tons, made billions of dollars, did this crazy thing, locked up Binance for a short period of time, allowed a cascade of liquidations and stuff. Binance, of course, fixed the issue for almost everybody to a man. Like, we don't have a whole lot of complaints out there, but it was an example of how precarious and how weak this market actually was when one market maker controlled that much of the supply. Well, then you have all these other market makers like Jane Street and all these other guys out here who suddenly saw billions of dollars exit the market. Well, now they have to make themselves right because they weren't selling when the opportunity presented itself. Now they're underwater, if you will. And then the other part to it was you had to unwind. Binance bought a ton of Bitcoin on October 10th. Coinbase bought a ton of Bitcoin. These centralized exchanges tried to prop up the market, and guess what? They bought at 105,000, and guess what happened there? They're selling at a loss. So these centralized exchanges are losing money. Everybody is losing right now, and nobody's winning. So the
Michael Saylor, wasn't his he's way below his dollar cost average right now.
76,000 was his number. Yeah, his liquidation point was, and by the way, his liquidation point was a total lie. I think his liquidation point, like, they went down to, like 19,000. Like, it's really 19,000 because of the way that they've carried these loans. So they're in kind of and by the way, this doesn't mean that they're in great shape or anything like that, but it does mean that they're not in the precarious sort of situation that other people were saying, and neither is Metaplanet. Everybody that bought Bitcoin as these big companies, they seem to be in good shapes. City states, nation states, everybody who bought seems to be in good shape. The problem is really that, and we've seen this. I don't know if you watch it or not, but every day at around 9 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. your time, because you live in that weak ass time zone. Every day, Jane Street is dumping on the market. And I always say it's Jane Street, but it's really everybody is just dumping on the open market the moment you can get to options. And that's where futures and options are absolutely destroying crypto right now. And then you have nobody left here that's buying it back up to the level of the people who are selling, because all of the gamblers, they're on Polymarket and Kalshi. They went away. They walked away because instead of holding a meme coin for 6 months in the hopes that it will reverse and you get 100x, they were like, you know what? To hell with this. I'll just put $1,000 on Donald Trump to say something stupid. Cha-ching! I just won. You know what I mean? Like, it that quickly. So
hey, it's nuts.
That's what
And then, I was telling somebody, I was talking with somebody the other day. I'm like, is it the whole premise of, remember how we used to be like, oh yeah, diamond handers and this and that. Like, no, like nobody knows how to hold anymore. Nobody. Like even meme corners. Like you try to get some, even shit corners. You try to get something going, and next thing you know, it's like 5 minutes later, like everybody's dumping their bags, and it's like, bro, like this could actually run. This could run to $1 billion, but no one wants to hold anymore. Nobody is willing to take that risk anymore. And a lot of people who bought, even Bitcoin, a lot of people that was buying it on the way up, they're under. So now they're all selling for losses and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. We're just in this weird moment in time, and not just that, but going back to the whole conspiracy theory thing, it's like how many of these market makers do that may or may not like Trump, because at the end of the day, there's he's pro Bitcoin, pro crypto, really strongly out of his mouth, he's pro crypto, and they've tried all these other different methods to hurt him and hurt his image and hurt his support base. And one of his support bases is crypto holders. So how do you hurt them? By tanking the market.
So what I would say to that is no. So Donald Trump is a problem, or at least has been a problem in the market a little bit, but he's not the problem with the market. And I don't think that he's even under attack. He's already made his money. He doesn't care. You're not attacking Donald Trump in this.
Well, it's not necessarily attacking his image, which is turning, the people that were so hopeful for Bitcoin when they were buying it at 90K, now they're like, oh, well, he just, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to flip future voters or from the red party type of thing,
so,
you know what I'm saying?
And here's what I would say to that. I don't get the cult memos. So I have no idea what MAGA is supposed to think. So I have no idea how they're supposed to be saying how, he's mentioned 38,000 times in the Epstein files, or as MAGA says, he's innocent and he didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the playbook and the blueprint is right there. But here's the thing. If the election was stolen in 2020, and actually everybody secretly wants Donald Trump to be the president, and there's no bad people and everybody supports the president with unprecedented ratings, with incredibly high numbers, whatever, right? If all of that's the case, why isn't MAGA buying crypto? Why are they not buying Bitcoin? Why are they not holding? And why are they not taking care of their president to make sure that he looks good? Yeah. Because remember, they had all the money. They had this, they had that. They're billionaires. Everybody there is a billionaire. Why are they not propping up the market? And the answer to that is because, go ahead, your turn. What's the answer?
I have no idea.
Right.
At this point, like it's no idea, because at the end of the day, nobody knows everything about everybody.
Right.
Right. And it could, and that's where I'm kind of open-minded. Yeah, I voted for Trump. I'm a supporter or whatnot, but I'm not like a diehard, just blindly, oh my God, he does nothing wrong type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to kind of, you can support somebody and then still see their flaws.
Exactly. And the hard part is, you have so many people who are tribal at this point, who are locked into, if somebody says something bad about Donald Trump, it has to be a lie. It can't be true.
Yeah.
If you say something that they don't like, you get whataboutism, where, and like when we said we were going to do this debate, we were going to talk through, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, we're going to have a bunch of different topics here, and we're going to debate, and he's going to take, the MAGA side, and I'm going to take the right side. And did I just say that?
The left. Them damn lefties.
The correct side. And we're going to talk about all of the things that are going on in the world. And, the funny thing is, if you were to watch, say, Jubilee, or you to watch any kind of real political commentary thing, the leftists are out of their mind. The right-wingers are out of their minds. The people in the middle are getting their information from both sides. Yeah. None of it's real. All of it's manufactured. Is Donald Trump a good person? Ask yourself that. And if you think the answer is yes, what are you? Da-da-da.
Yeah.
No billionaire is a good person. I told you that 3 years ago with CZ Binance. No billionaire is a good person. They don't become billionaires by being good people. They become billionaires by being shrewd and backstabbing anybody who's in their way and climbing over bodies to get to the top. That's how they do it. So they're not good people no matter what. But that doesn't mean that Donald Trump is an evil man or nefarious. It doesn't mean that he hung out on Epstein Island. I mean, they were neighbors. He could just go to Epstein's house if he wanted to. Or, you know what I mean? Like there's so many. And that's another part, is that you can't even have that honest conversation because liberals really want all this stuff to be true. It's not. No, it's not true. Does Donald Trump like to look at a 17-year-old girl who's hot? Yeah, probably, but most people do. You know what I mean? Because nobody has an ID tag of their age on it. So, you might look at somebody, and remember in the old days, you would be in when we were in middle school and high school, we were looking around and we were like, man, they look old. This girl looks like 23 or 24. Well, you look at a 23 or 24-year-old today and you're like, wow, 23, 24 years old. She looks super hot. And she's like, I'm 13. You know what I mean? You're like, oh God, you know what I mean? So does he like beautiful women? Sure. He settled for Melania. So, he doesn't love beautiful women. He likes beautiful women. I just had to say that because that's
like love and lust is two different things or three different things.
But I mean, so many people just hate everything about him. And also, he does that to himself. I don't do that to him. It's not Trump, Trump derangement syndrome. Everybody suffers from Trump derangement syndrome in some way, because the left is deranged because they think everything he does is evil, and the right is deranged because everything he does is good to them. And they have to make excuses. They have to go back on their principles to justify. They have to do a lot of, just go watch some of these. Again, I said that Jubilee thing, it's like that round table thing that they have on YouTube. Like, go watch some of these things. The things that they will fall over themselves to try to justify so many different actions. So, we're in a very weird sort of space. And here's the best part. Okay. Best part is we've been in this space before. We'll be in this space again. We live. Here's the funny thing. I was in the car a little while ago and somebody said, because they were worried about, like, before you had to worry about getting shot. And I was like, I don't worry about getting shot anyway. What the fuck are you talking about? But the point was actually really good, because the point is we're being manipulated by news and media and everything to be scared, which is why we helicopter our kids. Kids don't go out all day and come in at night and stuff like that. Now we have to keep track of them. We have tracking devices on our kids. We have leashes for when they go to when they're young, and we go to there's so many different things and we fool ourselves to think that we're protecting our kids. What we're actually doing, to be fair, is damaging our kids. And I'm going to take the side of that liberal side, but at some point, like, the fact that that's how you see the world means that there's something messed up in your head. The fact that you want to get back there means that there's something right in your head. And I mean right wing in your head, because that's a policy that they're right about. Like athletes in sports, transgender, stuff like that. Like, they're not wrong about a lot of things. Is it uncomfortable to have that conversation? Yes. Are you alienating your voters when you say that, hey man, that idea that you have, that's just nonsense. I mean, we go back to Fallon Fox. Remember that UFC fighter, Fallon Fox? She was trans.
Yeah.
They allowed her to fight. She beat the shit out of somebody, broke one girl's skull in her first match.
Yep.
Got 5 matches in, beat everybody up to a pulp. Went up against a world champion, got her ass kicked.
Yeah.
His ass kicked, her ass kicked. I don't care which one you use, but you should use her because that's the one that she's chosen as her gender. But still, Like, the fact that you can beat up 5 women just to get there, you have more muscle if you're a man. Even if you transition, you have, like there are things that the right
Bone
is
density.
right about. There's things that the left are right about. But
Yeah.
you can't. Here's the thing: common sense is going to start to seep back into our society very, very soon. And by the way, don't forget, in the 40s and the 50s and the 30s and the 20s and the 60s and the 70s, we were all fucking crazy. Everybody is nuts. It's just a different level of nuts depending on the decade, Like, it's always been this way. It'll always be this way.
Yeah. I mean, just like crypto, we're going through cycles. It all circles back. It all circles back. It's like I seen kids wearing bell bottoms, right? Again, and you know what I'm saying. It's like all that shit. They think, oh yeah, this is cool. Look at what we did, man. We was wearing that shit when we was kids. Come on now.
And Bitcoin just went down $50 billion.
I just saw, man, it's down 61 to 60.
It's 60,000. Generational buy opportunity.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely. It went to 68. Wow. Not 68K, 60,800.
Yeah. This is just an absolute unwinding of risk markets,
And see, this is why I'm kind of glad I took a step back from the markets right now, because I was going to be putting in some longs at 65, and I was like, you know what? Let me wait on that. And I'm definitely glad I did, because I would be getting wrecked right now.
Absolutely.
Wow, geez. But yeah, man, hey, let's get right on into it. So, all right, so we got a slew of questions. I think we got 10? We got like 10 questions. Yeah. 10 questions we're going to go through. We're going to kind of just give both sides, man. And when the whole thing about uncomfortable conversations, there should never be an uncomfortable conversation, because people should be able to communicate. That's what communication is. You should be able to talk about things, talk about topics, not get mad, scream, yell, insult, start blasting, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. People should be able to have honest conversation. That's one of the main problems with society now, is no one knows how to have a good conversation. So that's why we're here. All right, so first topic of discussion, right, is, let me pull this list back up. Let me pull it up. All right, first topic of discussion. All right, Don Lemon, was his arrest justified or political?
So I'm going to say that it was political. It was politically motivated. It was politically oriented. And in review of the video evidence that was produced by the Washington Post and Jeff Bezos, who is actually a right-wing supporter, footage does not show that Don Lemon participated in any of the chants. He didn't disrupt any of the service. He was merely there as a journalist and was arrested for standing where Donald Trump did not want him to be.
I'm gonna, at the end of the day, I don't care. All right, so my side of this is, all right, so he was there, and he was there specifically to cause a ruckus. He went inside the church, which every single person that did that was in violation of law. See, at the end of the day, that's what it kind of boils down to. I don't care if you right wing, left wing, nut job, sane, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, we should uphold our laws. Now, if you want to change that law, hey, guess what? Go through the processes of changing laws. You can introduce laws. You can introduce, the laws. I don't know how that process goes myself, but there's ways to do that. Hey, get involved with politics. Actively research your politicians, because at the end of the day, they're supposed to be your representation. And if you don't care, you just like lay back and you're like, oh, I don't care about politics, but then you want to bitch and complain. That's on you. At the end of the day, we're a nation of laws. The law was violated on that day.
So what law was violated?
I got it up right here. So to make sure I was stating, so So he so all right, this is straight from all right. So he deprived individuals of their constitutional rights, specifically by referring to for interfering with worshipers' free exercise of religion.
Okay. Video evidence does not show him interfering with anybody. So,
but he participated. He went in with that crowd, and that crowd's intent was to disrupt the service.
So then that means that you cannot be a journalist. You can't be a wartime journalist. You cannot report on anything that's happening at all if what you're saying is true. Because the video evidence, most of it coming from his own live stream, and there were other streams, by the way, there's multiple videos of this. He didn't obstruct anybody. He didn't get in anybody's way. He didn't interrupt anybody's service. He was merely there as an observer. And if you're telling me that a person is not allowed to go into a church with a camera, not true. With a microphone, not true. Are they allowed to interrupt the service? No, they are not. That is a violation of your constitutional rights. However, there's no evidence that he did any of that. No matter how you've interpreted, no matter how anybody's interpreted, the video evidence is clear. He was acting and behaving as a journalist. Nothing about this arrest is going to stand up in court. And then I will take it one step further to say he, after being arrested and being held by federal government for 12 hours, was released. And you know how much his bail was?
I don't know.
Zero. Now, why would you just release him with zero bail? Like, is there? I mean, this was a shakedown.
Well, at the same time, okay. So at the same time, within context, this group that in this area that was already it's already a hostile environment for everybody. Yeah. These people sitting in there, sitting and conducting what they wanted to do in this church service, with everything going on outside. They don't know the intent of these protesters coming in, whether you're a journalist or not. And as a journalist, on the way there, he knew exactly why they were going in there, what they were going in for. So in a sense, he is part of the violation of these people's rights.
So journalists are now responsible for the behavior of other people. I thought that was the police.
Yeah, but they stopping police. The police can't even do their jobs.
Well, I mean, if your job is to murder a guy on the street, ICE is doing a fine job of it. They can do their job.
We gonna get into that one too. We're gonna get into that one too. We're gonna get into that one too. But at the same time,
here's my point. Here's my point.
As a known public figure, he maybe could have conducted himself in a different way, and not even went in. He knew those people.
So he could have, in order to do his job, or in order to satisfy right-wing requirements, he should not do his job.
But that's not his job. His
job is to report. He's a journalist.
Everybody, lots of people get arrested as freelance journalists. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
no, lots of people don't. Not in America, they don't.
Absolutely. Think about the ones that the freelance journalists that goes in to conduct what's how they refer to it, like see, now I can't think of it, where they go into the public spaces, record into audits. So they go in, they audit public spaces, and a lot of them end up getting arrested, even in police departments, and that is part of our rights. And they get arrested for certain things like that.
Do they get charged? Do they get felonies? Do they get convicted?
They got then obviously it ends up getting thrown out, just like with this Don Lemon case. It's going to get thrown out.
Exactly. Because why? Because he didn't break any laws. That's the point. He didn't break any laws. He didn't do anything wrong.
In my opinion, and that's the difference of opinion. I believe that everybody that went in, that was their purpose. He knew what their purpose. He knew what their purpose was.
So why is it his obligation to stop it? Like, why? Here's the thing. We just had a ruling.
He shouldn't have to stop it, but he don't have to participate either.
2 weeks ago, the police officer at that school with the mass shooting where Emma Gonzalez and David Hogg and all those people, Parkland, it was the Parkland shooting in Parkland, Florida. That police officer is not required to sacrifice his life. He was exonerated fully. It is not his obligation to risk his life to stop somebody without backup or anything like that. That's sacrifice. So why does Don Lemon get to be held to a different standard, or why is his standard, after we already know about exoneration, because you are not required to go die for somebody? If we know that, then what is the question? Don Lemon's responsibility now is to stop a mob of people from going into a church? Absolutely not. His job is to follow them in there.
That term right there, this mob intentionally went in to disrupt services. He knew that they were going in to break the law. He should not have participated. As a journalist, if you are going to participate,
he didn't participate. He observed.
Oh man,
that's what it comes back down to. We'll always come back down to it. He didn't participate.
I mean,
the video evidence is clear.
If they rule it as him observing, then I mean, it is what it is. But like I say, in my opinion, he knew exactly what he was doing by going in there with this mob that went in there with a purpose to violate these people's right to worship.
Mm-hmm. And even if they did, they should all be arrested.
They should all be arrested.
And they should all be arrested. But a journalist going in to report on it, absolutely not. There is no circumstance.
He didn't go in after the fact. Usually, you go in as a journalist. You're not going to go in while they're actively shooting as a journalist. You'll wait till it dies down and go in.
Right, but that's you making a choice. You have the freedom to go into an active shooting scene if you're not stopped by a police officer.
Yeah, that's wild.
Or obstructed. You do have that right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, in my opinion, in my belief, I think he knew full well what the intent was, and he went in there to prove a point, maybe to prove a point, for whatever purpose it is. I think that he went in there and he was part of the violations of the law. And like I say, everybody, and especially if anybody is charged, he should definitely, even as a journalist or not, even as a journalist, you can go in somewhere knowingly participating or not even observing, but you knew a crime was about to happen. You went in to videotape it. You are conducive to the crime.
So everybody recording a crime is now a felon.
No. He went in knowing that a crime was about to be committed. And instead of contacting law enforcement, say, hey, a crime is about to be committed. Hey, that would actually change the context a little bit. Hey, a crime is about to be committed. I'm going to get video evidence of this crime. So all persons involved in the crime are persecuted.
All right, perfect. So I need you. So now that we have that established, I need you to turn back to your left to the law that says that a journalist has to dime out their source and they cannot observe. Because I understand the First Amendment right. But what you're saying is not the First Amendment. What you're saying is that he not only has an obligation under the First Amendment to which he did not obstruct anybody, but he can also not record what's happening in a place where he can legally record what's happening.
I didn't say that, but the context kind of changes when you knowingly, when you know a crime is about to be committed. It kind of changes things a little bit. And as a prosecutor, yeah, I mean, if going through the footage now, I would have to absolutely go through all the footage through the beginning of the live stream. And if there's evidence that he said, hey, we're going to go disrupt we are going to go disrupt. And actually, it's going to come down to whatever words that came out of his mouth. If he said we are going to go disrupt this service, he is part of that disruption. Right. So therefore, he should be prosecuted.
But he didn't do that. I mean, that's the point. The point is, he didn't do anything wrong, and it's on video camera. He didn't do anything wrong.
He knew it was going to happen.
So
it's and that's a violation of rights. I don't what
him knowing something is going to happen doesn't mean that he knows something's going to happen. It means he's being told something is going to happen.
I mean, but that doesn't mean that something has happened. Would the situation have changed if somebody actually was either assaulted or died in the process? Because lots of things yeah, I'm just saying, would situations have changed, or would that be hey, what's up, 2-Bit? But would the situation have changed if someone was physically assaulted? If someone was physically assaulted, or if someone had died in the process of this?
He would then be a hero because he would have recorded it and made sure that everybody who was involved was prosecuted properly.
Yeah, but so that takes the crime even further.
Do you know why he's vilified? He's vilified because he's never liked Donald Trump, and he's always spoken out against Donald Trump. The end. He didn't do anything wrong. We have everybody's
entitled to it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. In my case, whether I like him or not.
Right. Everybody's entitled to opinion, but they're not entitled to their own facts.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
I don't.
I'm getting tired of dominating this one.
Okay. Alex Preddy. All right. So was it murder or justified?
It was at worst, or it was at best, manslaughter. I can see that. I don't think that he was murdered. Here's the way that I would unwind all of this. He was shot down. He did not have a gun. He was not in possession. So he was murdered by ICE. Okay. There's no law that says you can't. There's no law that said that he could not. And by the way, he had a right to carry.
Yeah,
he did have a right to carry, and he did not reach for his gun. And video evidence from
I don't know in that tussle.
That's the point.
When they started tussling,
they didn't tussle. They attacked him. That's the point. That's where.
Did you see beforehand? The reason for that is because he destroyed company he destroyed federal property by kicking that vehicle and knocking the taillight off. So he destroyed. So he committed a crime right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the penalty for kicking a federal vehicle?
Yeah, but they got out to arrest him. That's what the thing. That's the whole thing. They got out to arrest him, and of course, this is. And see, I've been.
How many of them?
Of course, I'm bringing the whole squad because here's the thing, and so where a lot of my thought process comes from. So I was in a place of war. I served in Iraq, and when you are in situations like that, when you are constantly on the defense of anyone that's going to be violent, and of course these people were not peacefully protesting. Let's get this. Nobody there was peacefully protesting. They were banging on the vehicles. They were getting in these officers' way while they're conducting their operations. This man kicks the vehicle, right? He kicks the vehicle. You don't know, as now with high tensions, you don't know what just happened, right? Yeah. You don't know what just happened. All we know is in the vehicle, something hit the vehicle, right? Yeah. You get out. One of the officers noticed. One of the officers noticed that taillight was kicked off or whatnot. Of course, the whole crew is going to come to arrest this person because one person in that situation is not going to handle it. We've seen it many a times with a lot of different officer videos. One officer it is definitely possible for one officer to be overpowered. So yes, the whole crew is going to come out. They're trying to arrest him, and in that tussle, they find, like say, I haven't seen the video clear enough, but it was claimed that they found he was carrying, which there's no law. Hey, if you are in full legal right to carry, you're not a felon. You know, if you are in full legal right to carry, I absolutely carry. I carry. But in that tussle, as they were arresting him for committing a crime, I didn't see clearly what happened. They said he had a gun. They seen a gun as an officer. You go in full alert, and in that process, he was shot. So
one of those officers disarmed him. One of those officers disarmed him. And then, how many bullets were there?
Oh yeah, everybody shooting. You hear weapon?
Yeah, there were 10 bullets. He was shot with 10 different bullets. Now, let me also ask you this, because 10 is a really interesting number. Okay. Was it the same? How many police officers was it? Was it 6 or 8? Something like that?
It was like 6.
Yeah, 6. All right. Were those 6 police officers there in that video footage that you're talking about of him kicking the car 11 days before he was shot and killed on the street? And did they stand by that car for 11 straight days? And did he come back to the site of his crime from 11 days before, when that filming actually took place? Because he didn't kick that car on that day that he was murdered. He did that 11 days beforehand. So
wait a minute,
are we saying that because he wasn't arrested in those 11 days that ICE decided he needed to be murdered? I mean, is that how we're playing the game at this point?
I'm gonna have to look at that, because that's not, see, and that comes from different sources. We're about
to hit the MAGA bubble. Go ahead, tell me.
We're not,
because the truth.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm all about the truth. And if this was happening on 2 separate occasions, you know, that's why I said like the media, man, they manipulate shit. And not everybody sees the same thing every time.
Yeah, type in Alex Preddy kicked a car, or kicking car, or kicked the car, or whatever it is. I'm sure it's going to be there.
Okay, yeah. So there it is. It says in a previous confrontation.
So,
okay.
And see, didn't tell you that.
And well, that's why I'm saying I don't listen to everybody, but when I see video coming across my feeds and shit, and it said, and that's the context. They show him kicking the car, and the next thing you know, officers getting out and they're tussling with him, and then he gets shot. That's what's being fed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's being fed. Obviously, that's what's being fed to me.
Mm-hmm.
By who? I don't know if that's the plot by Meta and stuff like that. If that's how they want to present it, but that's how it was presented to me. And I didn't look any further. And maybe that's on me, and you know, maybe changing my opinions a little bit. But at the same time, when they went to even with that, okay, so with that incident separated, you still have the situation of it's high tensions, a lot of people running around, and of course, obviously, they're hostile against these agents.
Yeah,
they go to arrest a man. So take Alex out of it. They go to arrest a person. Officers go to arrest a person, find a weapon, and maybe he went to, you know, it's not clear enough, but maybe he was like went to cover it up. But in that instance, you can get shot, especially reaching, because there's many cases of officers trying to take a step back and saying, oh, hey, there's a gun, and giving them the opportunity to put their hands up or whatever the case may be, and they pull the gun out and they kill 2 people before they're shot down. It's one of those situations like unless you've been in that type of environment where it's you're there to do a job and life is threatened and stuff like that. Like say, it's the same thing. Like when I was in Iraq, there were situations you didn't know if you was going to go home.
Right.
You encounter a group of people, and next thing you know, they pull an AK out and start shooting the convoy. You know what I'm saying? It's situations like that. It's where like I have some sympathy for these officers, but if as you said, it came out that he didn't have did he or did he not have the gun that day though?
He did have the gun. It was taken
Okay.
away from him before he was shot and before he was murdered. They took the gun away from him.
Okay. Well, I mean,
which is why, in my opinion, it's manslaughter. The reason it's manslaughter is because they didn't mean to kill him. Somebody, because these are, look, if you put 107 clowns into a clown car, you're going to get a bunch of clowns coming out of that car at some point. ICE agents at this point are, doing minimal training, and they're going out on the street with weapons. And
that's another thing. That's a big point you got right. Minimal training, because any law enforcement agency, whether it's local police or federal, is highly understaffed, especially for situations like this.
Yeah, and these guys are not equipped for that. But here's the thing: somebody, and you can see it in the video, somebody yells "gun," and that's when they open fire on him. But the reason that, I think, it is my opinion at this point, and the cops are going to have body cams that will probably never be released, but I'm going to assume one of the cops just said "gun" because he got the gun.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't, somebody else saw him pull the gun out or something like that. And then all the ICE agents just opened fire on him, on an unarmed man.
Yeah.
So that's murder, but I think it
Oh.
should be called manslaughter in that instance.
I'm pulling this up real quick. What is this? The Facebook video. So, and like I say, in my defense, this is the video that's constantly being shared out where he kicks it, and then they hop out, and then it flips to them tussling. Well, see, that right there is an all-in-one video.
Physical clash between Alex Preddy and federal agents over a week before he was fatally shot by U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents. Now, let me walk you through what happens here. You see Preddy is seen shouting at agents and kicking the vehicle taillight as agents are driving away. They then stop and exit the vehicle and tackle him to the ground. This whole interaction lasting about a few seconds. Now, there does appear to be a gun that is tucked in his waistband, but it's unclear if the agents noticed it. They do not disarm him, and they instead walk away. It's also unclear what happened before this video and after, but I have been told by the Department of Homeland Security that they are reviewing this video. The department, of course, part of the investigation into broken rib.
Where's the rest of
Preddy? Now, CNN previously reported that Preddy had an encounter with.
Yeah. Now, this is where I say this is why it's complicated to have a reasonable discussion with MAGA, because they want him tried and convicted for something that had nothing to do with the moments that this happened. And the reason that happened is, if you remember, when Honky McWhite guy stepped on George Floyd and killed him by putting his knee on the guy's neck until he couldn't breathe anymore, until he died. What did MAGA do? He's a drug addict. So what? There's a lot of drug addicts.
Yeah.
You don't kill them on the street. He had been convicted of crimes.
Yeah, I definitely think that was excessive. I definitely, regardless of that man's background, I do think that was excessive force. And what ended up happening, he definitely needed. There's lots of officers that end up having excessive force, but they don't. They're not always prosecuted. They're not always charged. But this one specifically was made such a big deal because of the video footage, and of course the man dying. You know what I mean? Right. So I mean, and
they make a big deal out of it because that's. This is how you keep people divided. If you keep people divided, then you keep people under your control. And that's what's happening right now. You've got right-wing media that reports one thing. You've got left-wing media that reports another thing. You've got social media, which reports something else. Then you've got X, which I don't even know what the X is anymore. Like it's a goddamn cesspool.
All right.
That
Here's this one. Here's this
is
one.
basically at this point designed to make you angry so that you're mad when you get done.
All right. So here we got this one. Let me make it bigger. So they're in the process of detaining him, obviously. Somebody behind them, they don't know who it is. Somebody behind them is trying to get in there.
Holy
I heard him. Oh! I heard him yell gun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you don't really, there's nothing clear about what happened in that situation. Now,
but there are clear videos. There are plenty of clear videos, frame by frame, that you can go through. He never reached for a gun. He never pulled out his gun. The gun was taken away from him by federal law enforcement. And then after the gun was taken away by federal law enforcement, they then murdered him in the street.
I mean, you're talking about split seconds. It's kind of
right. You have to defer.
If when they yelled gun and he still had that gun in his possession when they yelled gun, them officers are as it is what it is. Officers are going to shoot. It's at that point, it's your life over theirs.
That's exactly right. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a bunch of idiots, ICE agents who have no legitimate long-term training, making a split-second decision. And the judges should be siding with law enforcement in most aspects, okay? And Derek Hine is in here right now making a comment that says the guy had a gun and resisted arrest. First of all, that doesn't matter. That does not give you call to kill somebody. No matter what you think, that's irrelevant. If the guy has a gun, you're supposed to subdue him without violence, without force. That's what ICE is supposed to be doing. It's in their goddamn handbook. It's not in your fuck around and find out. It's not in the guy had a gun and resisted.
But the thing is, so that's the big thing right there. ICE is in the middle of conducting their operations and doing their job. People are impeding their job by getting in the way. This guy got in the way. He had a weapon on him. He got in the way and obviously got in a way so much that they went to subdue him. He had a weapon on him. And in that moment, as a police officer, I would have done, and this is just it. I would have done the same thing. You see time and time again that a criminal or, somebody in the act of doing a criminal, if they're getting arrested and they have a weapon on them, there is a split-second decision on both sides.
Right.
One person may have a weapon, like, hey, you know what? I have a weapon on me. Okay, it's taken away. Boom, you get arrested. Then there's other people that's like, hey, I got a weapon on me. And they're like, and a cop may take a step back, and in that step, they reach and pull and shoot. There's many, many cases of that happen. There's many, many live videos of this happening. And in that split-second decision, it's in this situation where it's already hostile, the situation is already hostile. A gun is on this person. Officers find it in the middle of arresting him. I can't see whether he reached or whatever, and he ends up getting shot. And that's the cause and effect of what he was doing. He was impeding, as an armed person, impeding a federal agent's job while armed. So you are, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and you're allowed to be wrong. Look, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Michael Jordan right now, and I'm gonna pretend Derek Hine's head is Patrick Ewing's face, and I'm about to rub my nuts across him as I dunk on him. But you're the other defender, because I'm gonna do the same to you. Legal standard and consideration. Under Graham versus Connor 1989, the use of force is justified by what a reasonable officer would do in the same situation, not in 2020 hindsight, which is why I say manslaughter. Deadly force is only allowed when the officer has probable cause to believe the suspect poses an immediate threat or serious harm to the officer
I would
or
have
others.
absolutely
Stop
in that
right
situation.
there.
In that
Stop right there.
situation, absolutely.
They disarmed him. No matter what you think of whether he had a gun or not, no matter how much you're trying to dance around and stick your dick back in your own butt because of the
I
Second
didn't see
Amendment,
them disarming him though. They
but
yelled
they
gun.
did.
They
It is in
yelled
the video.
gun
There's
and
multiple
stepped back.
videos showing him being disarmed. Now, resisting arrest. If a person is resisting arrest and fighting, it elevates the risk, but the law requires the force to be proportional to the threat. So they disarmed a man and then openly shot him. Following up, shoot to stop, not to kill. What I just say? Shoot to stop, not to kill. And this is in the ICE handbook. Police are trained to shoot at the center of mass to incapacitate or stop a threat, not specifically to kill, according to all training standards. Now, what scenarios are there in which deadly force may be permitted by police officers? Attempting to unholster the weapon, he did not do that. They unholstered his weapon and took it from him before killing him. Actions indicating potential use of the weapon. He never reached for the gun, so they did not do it. And then disparity of force, where in fact, if the suspect has stronger or better training, poses a threat of grievous bodily harm to the 5 or 6 guys who were attacking him, then even without a weapon or with a holster weapon, they can increase the threat level and then shoot to wound. Now, they didn't shoot to wound. They shot him 10 motherfucking times.
Yeah, but
while
in
he
that
was
situation,
unarmed.
like honestly, how many people in that situation can justifiably be and in this high tense situation, blood boiling, you're fighting with the crowd, and are in that moment where you feel that you need to pull your service weapon, that you can say, hey, let me specifically aim for the foot, and at the same time where this person can still pull their weapon out and shoot you in the face. That's what I'm saying. It's like in this situation, in the cop's defense, in this situation, he's actively fighting with officers. They go to subdue him, to arrest him. He's already showed that he's an aggressor, right? He's already showed that he's an aggressor. They find a weapon, and I'm trying to find a specific video that's showing where where they pulled the gun from him and then they shot him. That's what I'm trying to find.
Also, while you're doing it, because we're talking about 5 really fat donut eating ICE agents, why don't you pop up a picture of Alex Pretty so that we can see what kind of threat he imposed?
I don't care what they look like. There's kids that shoot people. I mean,
doesn't matter.
I don't care. I don't care what somebody looks like.
Shoot. Doesn't matter. He didn't shoot.
Yeah, but there's plenty of people. There's plenty of innocent looking people that are serial killers.
Based on plenty of people. Your ability to shoot somebody is not based on one time 6 months ago.
If he's carrying,
looked like he was going to shoot me.
But if he's carrying, he is obviously able. He is able to shoot somebody. If you are that bold that you need to carry a weapon, you can't lie
about the Second Amendment. You can't lie about the Second Amendment. He is legally allowed to defend himself.
Yeah, which and in his defending himself, he is fully capable, and he's had enough knowledge of that weapon to go buy it, to put it on his person. He has enough knowledge and enough experience with that weapon to go out and even in defending himself, to shoot somebody. Yes. You don't just put a weapon on your side and be like, oh yeah, this is just for show. I'm showing off and showing out. You know what I mean? It's
actually it is. You can do that. We're in a free country. You can do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
there are a lot of Pillsbury Doe fat fucks sitting in Texas right now with AR-15s walking into Denny's. You can walk around with a gun as a side piece or as something that you can just show off to people and be like, look at this, daddy.
All right, I'm slow mo. All right. So I see what you're saying. So and like I say, I proved to be wrong or whatever, but here it is. Let's see. So this is the one. So they're in the tussle with him.
Yep.
They pull the gun away.
There it is. So he has no gun.
They pulled. Well, yeah. All right. So it's in this moment, in this slow moment right here, where. So let me go.
Somebody yells gun.
Let me go forward just a little bit. So
and there he goes, right there.
That right there. See, that's the man right here. If you can see my pointer. This is the man right here. In that process, he yells gun and pulls it away. That's not two separate events that he pulls the gun away. Like they start shooting him in the process of him taking the gun and pulling it away from him.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. That's up in the air. It's up in the air in that moment because we don't exactly.
No problem. That's fine. That's fine because there should be. That's why I say it's manslaughter because it's not just open. It's not premeditated. You know what I mean? Like,
so I can see this. Yes, definitely.
But here's the thing. Let me go back. Shoot to stop, not kill. How many bullets? 10.
Yeah.
10. Shoot to stop, not to kill. Police are trained to shoot at the center of mass to incapacitate or stop a threat, not specifically to kill, according to training standards. How many bullets?
Yeah.
That's not shooting to wound or incapacitate.
But when you got that, you got that many people, you hear gun as officer in that situation, with that many people around, you hear gun. I mean, it's
I won.
Even if
I
you
won.
No. I didn't say you won. I'm agreeing with the fact that it should be manslaughter.
I won.
But in that situation, as an officer, if I was in that exact situation, I would have pulled that trigger more than once.
Alex Preddy was murdered in an American street. He was unarmed, and it was done by federal agents.
He was absolutely armed. Come on, man.
There are a lot of people that have been killed in the same sort of circumstances over many, many different years. So the fact that
many people versus this specific
and they're overreacting.
Situation.
People are overreacting to it, I think, because while tragic, it will be. Look, his family is going to get a huge settlement from the federal government because they overstepped, and he will get they will get a settlement. He will get a proper burial and stuff like that. I know it's tragic, but it was manslaughter at least.
But at the same time, he willfully interfered in government in a government operation.
You're saying
he put himself in that position.
So what?
He wasn't a peaceful protester.
Really? The only thing is, did this happen on January 6th, by the way?
Come on, everybody knows that was fucking rigged. Come on. Are we going back that far?
So it was rigged. So that was rigged.
Well, see, there we go with that. Okay, well, what's about it? What's about?
I just asked about the date. I didn't know what date that Alex Preddy was murdered in the street. I was just thinking it was probably January 6th.
Was it really?
Probably not. Right. I don't know what date it was.
I'm looking at the 24th.
But it is your argument. But it is your argument that if you go on federal property or if you attack a federal agent or something like that, they can use lethal force. Is that what you're saying?
But in that situation, in this specific situation, in that moment.
Now, what's the specific situation? Because the guy's liberal, or
no? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
You have federal agents. Here's the situation. You got federal agents trying to conduct their operations. You have hostile. You have you might as well call it mob. Like you have a hostile mob trying to interfere with their operations. They have a duty. To apprehend certain individuals. That's what
Did they apprehend him?
But they wasn't there to apprehend him. He inserted himself into that position,
which he's allowed to do, by the way, just under the penalty of arrest.
No, he's not. He's not allowed. He's not allowed to. He's not allowed to fight with federal officers. That's not.
Yes,
allowed.
you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
In defense of yourself.
No, You can
in
do
defense
that.
of you, if you are defending yourself,
you can absolutely go up and walk up and punch a federal officer.
yeah, you'll go to jail.
Right.
For assault.
You don't get killed.
Oh, come on. In this situation,
5-on-1,
he was
yes.
a hostile. It don't matter if it was 10-on-1. He was a hostile person in this situation. He was, and you shouldn't, as a person carrying, you shouldn't put yourself in that situation to be fighting with other officers, with other people, period, also carrying. I'm not gonna go out to the street and see somebody holding a rifle and go pick a fight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Also
I'm carrying mine, but I'm not gonna go pick a fight with somebody that's also, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. I'm not, again, I don't debate. Here's the thing. The debate suddenly is about whether or not this guy could or should have had a gun, whether or not he first of all, he did not pull a gun on any federal agents. But
you don't know in that moment. So in that split moment, because if you really take a close look, frame by frame, if you really take a close look, gun is yelled.
Did he have the gun when they yelled gun?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Look. It was being held by the agent.
No. When they yelled gun, when gun was yelled, there was a shot in the process of the other officer taking the gun away, and they continued to shoot. Now, them continuing to shoot, I don't know, like the hand placement, whether he might have been reaching up towards.
Let me make sure I got this right. So the guys that were continuing to shoot were watching the gun being taken away.
No, of course not. But as an officer in that situation, you hear gun, that means the person that you are trying to subdue has went from just being an unarmed hostile person to an armed hostile person. I would shoot more than once myself.
At no point was he an armed hostile. He was.
He
absolutely
yes,
was not.
He was fighting with officers with his. When he had it covered up, he was fighting with officers until they went to subdue him, to arrest him.
So what does that have to do with the gun? You're allowed to fight with people.
Come on, man.
No, you're not. You're changing
the
rules of society in order to fit a right-wing narrative.
Not at all.
I can go out with a gun on my holster and I can punch the shit out of a cop. I can do that.
And you'll be arrested. They will try to detain you, and they will try to detain you, and in the process, they find the gun. Situation changes. Now, whether you go to reach for it, if you go to reach for theirs, that's not clear where his hand placement was. But in that situation, I would have shot more than once.
Right. And you'd be put on administrative leave and you'd get paid and I'd be dead.
You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation knowing the consequences.
It is almost like we are talking about.
If he did not have the pistol on him whatsoever, and he got charged, all those off and they shot him, all of those officers should be charged for murder.
I still disagree with the murder. I still say it's manslaughter.
No, in that situation, if he was unarmed, all of those cops should be charged for murder.
He didn't have the gun in his hand.
He had it on his part. Come on, man.
So what? That's the point. So what?
I'm telling you. All right. So you are basically you are in a war zone, right?
We're not in a war zone. We're in Minnesota.
It is. That is definitely a war zone. That is definitely a war zone. That is definitely a war zone. These are not peaceful. These are not peaceful protesters that we're talking about.
How many people have died from these protests?
How many of those were hostile? That were actively interfering with
how many people have died?
An officer's operations.
How many people have died? Because the answer is going to be 2. So you're going to tell me that the sum result of your quote unquote war zone is ICE killing 2 people.
Well, a war zone
Both
doesn't mean thousands of
unarmed, by
people.
the way.
Doesn't automatically mean thousands of people are dying. I mean, but this is technically this is a war zone. It is. You are conducting operations in a hostile environment. Now, if these officers were to just were able to do their job, yeah, all right, you want to stand by, you want to protest, you want to hold up your sign, that's fine. But when you start assaulting officers while being armed, assaulting officers, you put yourself in a different position. And that's my opinion. I've been there. I've had to defend myself against people that were just waving at you as you rode by. You know what I mean? Now, and then the moment they pull their gun out, boom. It's a different story. I mean, it's you got to look at all of the facts. This guy was not a peaceful protester. He was armed. He chose to fight with officers while armed, and we saw the result of that. Any sane person that is armed would not choose to be fighting with other armed individuals. That is to me, that's insane. That you would knowingly be armed and go fight with the police. That's insane. That's insane with me. I mean, it like I say, the result it sucks. But if he didn't put himself in that position, he'd still be alive right today, still out there with his sign protesting. But you change the narrative when you become violent.
What did he do violent?
They say he wasn't fighting. He was resisting. No, he was out. They went to arrest him.
For what?
Because man, come on, man. Hold on. Let me see the whole video. Because they don't have, there's nobody showing minutes, 10, 15 minutes before he got shot. Where? I'm serious. So he was just standing on the street corner holding a sign, and they just decided to arrest. They decided, hey, we're going to try to arrest this guy.
No, he's probably talking shit.
That's insane. Even talking shit.
Why?
You're allowed to talk shit. You can stand on the corner and say fuck you to the police all day long.
Second Amendment's why you can use the First Amendment. I see you shaking your head. I know you don't like it.
Was he shooting his gun at ICE vehicles? No, he was not shooting his gun at ICE vehicles. The thing is, he was out there interfering with police operations.
Interfering how?
While armed. Ain't no sane person is going to do that.
So everybody in the South is crazy for carrying a gun with them?
Oh, hell no. Come on now. Not everybody in the South ain't out there trying to fight with the police with a gun on their hip.
Okay. You still haven't shown me the video of him trying to fight the police.
I should have pulled all these videos up. Let's see. Like I said, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this situation though, because
you already admitted that it's manslaughter at least. So
yeah, it's manslaughter. Yeah,
we're not gonna disagree. I already won. We're just still bantering back and forth at this point. You could have moved on to the next question 10 minutes ago.
All right. Yeah, let's move on to the next question. I'm gonna keep up some of these videos. I'll go over them later myself.
And remember, don't use the 11 days before videos and be like, of course he spit on him.
No. Well, see, hey, at the same time, hey, I didn't know that there. I did not know that there was a separation, but now that I know there's a separation, that puts a different context to the information that I'm going to be searching for.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Do you believe that tariffs are working?
I'm supposed to say no on this, but unfortunately, and they're not working in the way that we would like them to work.
Yeah.
Or as fast as we would like them to work. But I think that the tariff is a very effective tool for, and let me also back up and say that the reason that I support, this is one of the few things that I support Donald Trump on. The reason is because Barack Obama was, I think, in my opinion, negligent in dealing with trade imbalance. Joe Biden was negligent in dealing with trade imbalance. George Bush, Bill Clinton, everybody. Well, maybe not Bill Clinton, but I think he was the negative. Like, when NAFTA came around and you sent some jobs away.
Yeah.
I think you created your own problem with trade imbalance. And I think that the tariffs are a tool that, by the way, Congress is authorized to use, not the president, to try to help and impose a better financial circumstance on the United States, because, in my opinion, Congress is negligent in their responsibility. I think Donald Trump is justified in everything that he does. And even if the Supreme Court were to unwind and say it's the job of Congress to do this, it is not the job of the president to do this, then I would say that the Congress better pass a law real quick, giving him the authority to do it, because this is an important tool in an arsenal. And I unfortunately support the tariffs. And I understand that it costs more. I understand that we pay it. I understand that he lied about it. I understand that he's a deceiver and a misleader about a lot of different things, because he likes to BS. He's just one of those BS guys. But at the end of the day, that tariff allows for you to stop the inflow of some goods or services that we need to do a better job of maintaining here in the United States. So, unfortunately, for this purpose, I support the tariffs.
I have no disagreements on that whatsoever. I support the tariffs. And like you said, things are getting a little bit more expensive. It's part of it, but it's a very useful tool that he is utilizing effectively to change the import of goods system, and also to force
export.
and not only just that, but just force jobs back. A lot of these companies, they dipped and dived, went to other countries, and they're making shit cheaper and more garbage and charging us even more money for it. They're bringing, the hope is, and
they're charging us more money because there's a tariff on it now.
Well,
they're not charging us more money. The government.
Yeah. Well, it's all around, but there's no way a fucking F-150 should be $80,000. It's ridiculous.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But it's forcing people to realize, hey, we can make some of these goods at home, or not at home, but in-house. We can create goods in-house. We can create some of these things that we are buying from other countries in-house and save some money. We used to be.
I think we should recognize one thing, though, because when you said if an F-150 shouldn't cost $80,000, the reason it costs $80,000, I don't think that has nothing to do with the tariff. That has to do with us printing money.
It's a combination of things.
Sucking money back out of the system.
It's a combination of things, but they're importing parts. They're importing so many garbage parts, and then well, we just got a recall because we didn't catch at the 100,000th one produced. We didn't catch it that it had a fucking crack in it in this control arm that's supposed to be the safety device. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Yep.
They're bringing in these cheap parts and then want to call recall. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when the parts was made here,
market's up $50 billion.
Is it really?
Yeah,
that's crazy. But that's definitely that's a topic that we definitely, honestly, I 100% agree with. And as far as the money coming in, Was it 300 billion right now?
According to Donald Trump, listen, the funny thing was, I was going to say this a few minutes ago. I saw this video of him. I think it was MSNBC that he was being interviewed by or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he's being interviewed by this guy like yesterday or the day before. And he says, I don't know why people are not just recognizing how great I am at the economy. And the guy's like, well, Mr. President, it's because nobody agrees with you in the economy. He's like, well, they should. And the guy's like, the prices are too high. And
it is absolutely.
Like, he doesn't. Here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. Donald Trump doesn't understand what you are going through or what I am going through or what anybody in our realm is going through. Yeah. He has no comprehension. When he tells you that prices are down, he's just lying to you. Kelly Loeffler told him that he's got $18 trillion worth of investments in the United States. You know how much of that has come through? Zero so far. He's got commitments from people in the future. And by the way, there are manufacturing hubs being built and created. It's not a zero sum sort of thing. And they haven't been able to hire people yet. But also, it's not 18 trillion. Most of those are just, it's not real. Like what he's doing is what Donald Trump always does. He always lies to you to the upside to try to make you feel it's hyperbole. He's not lying to you. He's using hyperbole to, and by the way, the government's been doing it. It's not a Donald Trump thing. Yeah. The government lies constantly about everything anyway. He's just being deceptive in $18 trillion. How come you're not happy? Why can't you just tell me? Why can't you just say that I'm doing an amazing job? Why can't you just say, Donald Trump, thank you for everything that you've done for America, our great country?
I don't agree. I don't agree with fucking giving praise, man. For come on, man.
He gets mad. He gets mad when people expect results. That's the problem. Here's the problem is when he gives you this kind of stuff, fine. But where is it? And then he moves on to the next thing. Like, for example, I know you saw the exchange. You're not that deep in this bubble here. That not long ago, he said he's going to give everybody $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Then he was interviewed days later, and he's like, I don't remember ever doing that. I never did that. And then he argued and called the lady fat. Or he called her piggy or something like that.
Yeah.
Because she asked that question. I mean, you know, from the dickhead standpoint, it is hilarious. Like, it is funny when you see stuff like that happen. But I mean, this is who he is. He's deceptive.
All politicians are deceptive.
Misleads you.
All politicians are deceptive. They're all misleading. They will flip the truth.
Though. They move on, though. He never moves on. He doesn't move on. He still continues to do it. He never just kind of gives up and says, let's go and let's move on. Somebody says, where's the $18 trillion? He calls you piggy. This is, by the way, no matter what you think of what that question was, his job is to represent that person that he's calling piggy. His job is to represent every person who didn't vote for him. The difference between the modicums of normalcy that we have in our society right now is that when you're the president for everybody. Donald Trump is not the president for everybody. Donald Trump is the president for a tiny group of people that he wants to do immigration, which, by the way, this is another thing that I'm going to support him on, even if nobody likes that. I support immigrate. Like, if you're not here legally, get out, you know, like I kind of understand, but he breaks down the social norms. He doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent you. He doesn't represent everybody else. He represents a small group of people. And by the way, those people are millionaires and billionaires and people that get a quote unquote trickle down effect, which some people do. There's obviously, even though trickle down economics, we have 100 years of data saying it doesn't work. He still believes that it works. Do you know why? because his people, the people that he cares about, they're still getting rich. They're getting richer. So when I say that he doesn't know,
because he even said it the other day. I'm making more people.
He
rich.
doesn't understand what it's like to be a normal American. He's never been a normal American. Melania probably understands, because before she was rich, she was an immigrant. You know what I mean? Like, she probably still understands what it's like to be a normal person in some way. Barron, I think that Barron is aware of social media enough that he understands what it's like. Probably, even though he was born with a silver spoon, I got a feeling that he kind of understands what it's like just by listening to him a little bit. If you look at Eric Trump has no idea. He's been a silver spoon kind of Nepo baby. Don Jr. is the same thing, but I think Don Jr. is also, despite the fact that he's a little bit hyperbolic and he's a little bit like his dad, he's also somebody who I think he kind of gets it a little bit. He's learning from his dad, and he's learning that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's learning how to be that asshole guy. But I think he understands. I think Barron understands. I know Tiffany understands, because she's been kicked under the curb, kicked under the rug for 30 years. But you know what I mean? Like, I think he doesn't understand it. Scott Bessent has absolutely no idea. He's just a smug. By the way, I would smack Scott Bessent in the fucking face with a gun on my belt in a holster, holding a fucking Bowie knife. I would still backhand him and be like, worth it. Just because of his smug face. Like, God. And most people don't know. Like Donald Trump, I joke because because he paints himself orange and yellow and acts like he's not 100 years old. Like, I joke about it. But Scott Bessent looks like a real piece of shit. Howard Lutnick knows nothing about it. Nobody in his administration knows anything about being a normal American. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The fact that some of the things that they do benefit normal Americans helps. I mean, it helps. Like, and I'm not saying that he's just there for the rich, but if you look at it from a policy perspective, there's only so much that he can do. There's only so much that Congress is willing to do. So, I think that he just doesn't understand. Like, he's never gone and bought a gallon of milk. He's never had to go buy bread. He's never had to not eat on Wednesday night because he doesn't get paid until Friday, and he ran out of fucking money, and he doesn't know what it's like to have to eat ramen noodles for, what were they, 39 cents or something like that. Like, he doesn't know. He has no idea what that life is like. And that doesn't mean that you're a better or worse person. Yeah. It just means that he has no comprehension of what people are going through. So he just lies his way through it because he's been successful at it. And when you're famous, they let you do whatever you want, right? Yeah. Even if you want to grab them, even if you want to grab them.
Right by us,
What's the next question?
All right. Okay, we got that. All right. ICE, terrorists or enforcers?
Enforcers.
Yes.
They act like terrorists because they're ill-equipped, ill-informed, ill-trained. They also are largely because nobody.
It's not all of them, though.
Nobody at this point, nobody with a college education is joining ICE right now, saying like, "Oh, I'm going to help the world" and stuff like that. Right now, what you've got is MAGA saying, "Let's get these people out of our country."
You know what?
They're enforcing.
I can probably, yes, I can on a level, I can actually agree with that.
They're enforcers. They act like terrorists, but they are enforcers. And the reason that they act like terrorists is because American citizens, y'all bitches come up here and listen to me, okay? American citizens should be on the side of America in this regard. I can't believe I'm fucking quoting MAGA here. God damn it. American citizens should be worried about American citizens, not the fact that you were dating some Latina girl who was here illegally. Okay. That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
You look like a terrorist if you're ICE because they're being treated like terrorists by people who disagree with a closed border. The hippies who want an open border policy and stuff like that. Well, and by the way, Donald Trump is wrong in many ways about immigration, but he's not completely wrong. He's not utterly wrong, and he's not far off from being right. And I can't believe I'm doing this. God damn it. But he's not completely wrong about what's going on, because what's going on is that it's not an invasion. Okay. That's stupid, because an invasion implies that it's a coordinated event, but it's still mass immigration beyond what we can sustain. And you know what?
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. It was all fun and games back in, was it 2023 or something like that? It was all fucking fun and games when Joe Biden was like, let's just let him in. Am I sleeping? I don't even know if I'm sleeping. You know, whatever he was doing. But guess what? It got super, super fucking real the moment they put him on a bus or a plane and said, here, New York City, it's your fucking problem. Here's Chicago,
Yes.
it's your fucking problem. And guess what? Chicago up here, they are going out. They're like, oh my God, we can't handle all these people. What do you mean you can't handle all these people? You said open the border. And here's the problem, okay? The problem is when we as a culture, like, you know, like we take sides and stuff like that. Sure. Politicians represent people. Politicians don't have the opinion of the same people, but they are responsible for handling what their constituents want. And if 80% of the constituents want something, then it's your obligation to kind of give it to them. And that's where we run into these disconnects, because you have so many people out here protesting right now. Some people don't even know why they're protesting, by the way. Like, I don't even think they understand what and why they're protesting. They just want to be part of something, and they want to feel vindicated. They want to feel right. They want to feel like they matter.
Hey, and you know, and sometimes it's not even that. They just want to they want to have that viral clip to show that they were out there fighting the man.
Yeah.
A lot of them do that.
My son was in Minnesota right after he got there about 6 hours after Alex Preddy was murdered.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was out there protesting with them. He was sending me pictures and stuff, and I'm like, dude, God.
Yeah, but he wasn't out there fighting with. We'll get into that. We already passed.
You've seen my son. He's a big boy.
I know, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
they're going to use force on him. I mean, dude, I'm a big guy. Like, I really am a pretty big guy. My son is gigantic. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, I mean, but he was out there protesting too. And then of course, when he was sending me the pictures, I'm like, you know, like I'm gonna get real with some of you guys right now. My daughter was killed. She killed herself a long time ago. I am very nervous about my children at all times. So when my son told me he was there protesting, I about lost my mind. And I was trying to find the right way to tell him, please don't fucking do this. And then he got mad at me, like I'm not understanding that he needs to stand up for people that he feels are being wronged, or people who are overstepping their boundaries and stuff like that. And I couldn't just tell him, I don't want my kid to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've already been through that once. You know, I can't do that again. So it's, you know, this was a difficult, like this was, and by the way, it was a passing conversation, but it was difficult. Because like I didn't want to explain to him why, you know what I mean? Because that puts too much pressure on him to be super careful and could lead to anything. But I sat there just like freaking out and panicking the entire weekend while he's out there protesting. I'm worried that he's the next Alex Preddy, you know? So yeah, that was a really bad weekend.
Yeah.
But
like you said, they're enforcers.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be enforcing the law. And of course you got your wild cards. You got your extremists that are, they are, we gotta get all their, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Okay. We got a job to do. We got to enforce our laws because like I say, once again, we're not We're not a nation of chaos and lawlessness. We're not supposed to be anyway. We're supposed to be a nation of laws. And as you said, even mentioned, like it's not sustainable for us. You see, all these cities are going broke.
Yeah,
they're all going broke from the in previous administration, and even maybe the previous before that. A lot of them had a hand in our immigration problems.
Yes,
because it was never addressed.
Yes,
it wasn't addressed like it is now. Oh, Obama addressed it in a different light. You know what I'm saying? What was it? He got was it 3 million?
He deported more people than Donald Trump could even imagine exist. Like
you know what I'm saying?
Barack Obama understood that portion. And here's the other thing. The difference between those two is that Barack Obama also understood the dignity of those immigrants.
You got to have some tact when dealing with.
You got to keep that stuff like just don't Jesus, don't be that guy that goes out don't. I expect my president to not rub salt in people's wounds. I expect maybe you do it on a massive stage. Maybe you talk shit about Russia. Maybe you talk shit about Ukraine. Maybe you talk shit about Africa. Maybe you talk shit about Europe. Maybe you talk shit about India. But you don't talk shit about American citizens.
Yeah.
And you don't talk shit about immigrants who've come to America looking for a better life, who are doing no harm to anybody. Doing no harm. You don't talk shit about those people. Now, you still get them out.
Yeah.
You don't talk shit about them. You act with dignity, you act with quiet, you act with grace, and Donald Trump just doesn't have that in him. And some of that is why people just can't stand him so much.
Yeah, you don't have to be balls to the wall all the time. Right. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I get it. We went from having a president that everybody saw was a very, I wouldn't exactly call him weak, but his whole image was weak. And we now have a president that is trying to show that maybe how the West was won, like America is a country of very, very strong and powerful individuals. I guess he's trying to portray that. Now, like I say, in some ways, some of what he's doing is it's great, but the way he's going about it at the same time, it's not exactly projecting powerful. It's projecting arrogance. And even a lot of other countries don't exactly respond to that. Now they are working with him because they have to look after their peoples, and they're going to do business with him. But at the same time, even from what I'm hearing from other people, that in other some of my friends in other countries, it's the way, like you said, the way he goes about it can sometimes be handled a little bit differently.
Look, the Azerbaijani and Armenian prime ministers and presidents laughing at Donald Trump was enough to convince me that, because he's out here saying that he's the reason that these people are no longer at war, and seeing them talking to each other and just being like, hey, did you know that Donald Trump is the one that got us to stop fighting? What the fuck is this guy trying to say? And then they're fucking just clowning on him.
And then at the same time, all right, think about this too. So not only that, but his image, the image is also being threatened because, you have other politicians that, no matter what we say about each other, you shouldn't be going to other countries talking shit about our home and the people that are running our home. We are supposed to, in a sense, we're supposed to take care of each other. You're supposed to represent each other. And so you don't go to other countries on big conferences and forums to talk shit about your president. No matter what you think, no matter what you say, or no matter what he says, what he does, you don't like, you don't go to another country to talk shit about your people back home.
Damn straight.
That's my opinion.
Well, we'll get back to being Americans at some point.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just a divided country, but we're going to get back to being Americans pretty soon. Democrats are about to take that American flag back.
We'll see.
Well, I don't mean that they're going to be
not necessarily.
I don't mean that it's going to be representative and that they're taking it away from MAGA, but they're going to embrace that American flag.
I don't like say the whole MAGA thing. The whole MAGA thing is, I think that the light is being shed on too many extremists. There is extremists on both sides of the aisle, and there shouldn't just be one aisle with two sides of representation. I don't believe that at all, because there's some things the Democrats do that I like. A lot of things they don't, that I don't like. There's a lot of things on the Republican side that I like. There's a lot of things I don't like. You know what I'm saying? So there's not across the board representation, and there's not, I don't think the two-party system needs to go away. There needs to be more voices being heard than just liberal, what we call liberals and what we call Republicans, MAGA Republicans. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because that's not the entirety of our nation. But those are the ones that's being shed the light on. You got your extremist liberals that are Democrat, that all we're seeing is a lot of craziness, and on the MAGA side, we're seeing a lot of craziness as well.
The crazy Democrats will end up being Republican one day, and the crazy Republicans, they'll end up being Democrat one day. Just like in 1963 when LBJ got rid of the Jim Crow laws. All of a sudden, the Republicans became Democrats and the Democrats became Republicans.
Nah.
Oh, you can say nah, but
they were still Democrats.
Southern Democrats were the ones that were opposed to. They wanted the Jim Crow laws. Southern Democrats wanted the Jim Crow laws.
The KKK inserted a lot of people into places of power.
Southern Democrats, exactly. They were Southern Democrats. And in 1963, when LBJ, who was a Democrat, started pushing to abolish Jim Crow laws, those Southern Democrats, over a 5-year period, became Republicans, because that Republican Party, it's not that the Republican Party is racist. It's that it's easier to hide in the Republican Party, because Democrats want control. Democrats want to control what's good for you. Republicans would prefer to leave you alone and that you leave them alone so that you can just live your life. Okay. It's about that liberty. It's about all of that. So,
but you got both.
It's
all these bad on
Democrats
both sides.
Become Republicans, and it's just easier to hide in a place where they don't ask too many questions. Not because the Republican Party represents racism, not because the Democratic Party represents or doesn't represent racism or freedom or equality or whatever the case may be. It's easier to hide in the Republican Party. The Proud Boys. I mean, look at what the Proud Boys were before they started invading the Capitol and stuff like that. They were at the forefront of whatever was going on there.
Like I said, that, and you can say the same thing about Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Small group of people.
With
this light shown on them to show to make it seem like that they are representing this entire group of people, and they're not.
Exactly, and they're not. But it's easy to hide in Republican land because Republicans are looking for the hands-off approach to let you live your life.
Yeah, but Democrats just don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. They don't want to talk about it. They don't
want to talk about it. They still hiding, and they just don't want to talk about whether they're hiding or whether they're doing, if they're out in the light or hiding. They just don't want to talk about it at all. They just want to, hey, look at this. Look at this look at this over here. Don't look at me. I just don't want to talk about it.
Well, what the difference between Republicans and Democrats when it comes to race is, I think, it's my opinion, that there are a lot of racists that can hide in the Republican Party because, again, they're hands off. They want you to have your freedom. They want you to, even if you do something stupid, look, the laws are there to make you pay for it, not to control you. Democrats want the laws to control you. I mean, we go back to Liz Warren. Liz Warren wants to control crypto. Donald Trump wants crypto to be uncontrolled for 5 or 6 years so that it can innovate, so that it can develop, so they can become something greater. So Democrats want control of crypto. Republicans want to give crypto control of themselves for a little while. That is a difference in philosophy, and it applies to everything. There are plenty of racists in the Democratic Party. Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Hey, look, and I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm gonna give you an example. So the other day, I don't know if did you see my post? It was about I think it was like last week or something like that when I was like, yeah, apparently I'm a racist. So I got called a racist because I wouldn't let this guy merge in front of me, right? It wasn't that I wouldn't let him in. There's etiquette, there's driver etiquette. So when you are in a line and there's construction, somebody pulls up next to you. Hey, I let the first car over. That doesn't mean Mr.
Every
Second
car
guy
gets to go.
Mr. Second guy gets to mush his way. He almost hit my van.
Yeah.
I didn't let him over, right? I let the lady that was next to me over, and he pulls up beside me. You are racist. What? You are racist. You didn't let me merge over. You're racist. I said, motherfucker, I said, my daddy's Irish. What are you talking about, bro? Like, you know, I said, what are you talking about? He said, and then he proceeds to call me the N-word. He says, well, you're just a racist N-word. And I'm like, well, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Of course, then I get upset because I'm like, come on, man, you ain't gonna sit there.
Did you just call me Byron Donalds?
I'm like, what the dude? It blew my mind. It blew my mind that he was like, you're a racist nigga. I was like, all right, motherfucker, all right, you say what you want. And then what really got me upset, and he was like, I'm gonna whoop your N-word ass. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
I'm gonna give you about the most
and here's the kicker though. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's the kicker. He had a Hillary bumper sticker.
I'm going to give you the most controversial, like, possible take that I can. Look, there are a lot of people are racist. You know, there really are a lot of people that are racist.
I believe in the human race. I don't believe there. I mean, we are all. What one guy said, we're all shades of wheat.
Fundamentally,
I'm serious.
Yeah, fundamentally, we're a visual society and we're people. So if I don't want to hang out with the black guy because he doesn't look like me and I feel like he doesn't have my same interests, really doesn't make me racist. Racism in itself is you thinking that another group is less than you. Like, that's what racism is. The fact that if I want to hang out with another guy because he's white, or I want to hang out with somebody else because they're Asian or something like that, is because I probably think I have more in common with that person. Like, you know, I don't think that nobody's born racist, but we're all born as visual people. And when we look at people, we look to see ourselves in those other people in some small way, even if we're not consciously doing it. Subconsciously, we're looking for people like us because what are we looking for? Like-minded people. That's who our friends are, like-minded people. So there's always going to be some level of racism from people, especially when you're driving. And, you know, some Irish honkies trying to merge in, and you've already let one person merge. Fuck two people. I'm not letting two people merge in my motherfucking lane, man. You motherfucker. You know, I mean, sometimes, but you get my point. Like we're not racist, but here the other part to this is where you're gonna get some people are gonna get mad. Racist humor is the funniest shit ever.
But see, it is, and it's supposed to. You use comedy as comedians use comedy and humor to break down these walls and barriers. You know what I'm saying? But some people can't get past that. They take it too far. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and they use that. They also use that to hide their inner racism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Tom Segura, who's one of my favorite comedians. He has a skit where he's talking about.
Not everybody, though. I just want to say, not everybody does that. He's
talking about The First 48, a TV show, you know, where you had like 48 hours to solve a murder and something. Yeah. And he says twice, only twice. I've watched 300 episodes, and only twice have I ever seen somebody say, I need a lawyer. And every time they do that, the cops go, fuck. And the charges get dropped. And at the very end of it, this guy asked for, I want to talk to a lawyer. And they're like, fuck. And then at the very end of it says, all charges have been dropped against Tayshaun have been dropped. And people start laughing. He goes, or Jim, whatever, pick a fucking name. But let's be honest, there's no Jims in there. You never see, hey, we're looking for you, Bryce. Where were you on that night when he was murdered? And he was like, oh, me and Tanner went over to Connor's house and we had pancakes.
Yeah.
There's always some subtle humor. Like sometimes there are jokes. There are jokes. There's racist jokes where I look at them and they're just not funny because they're mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are not good.
Yeah.
But when you're joking around and generalizing, like, we're as a society, we're too sensitive to stuff. It's okay to laugh at each other.
But see, here's the thing though. We as even Americans, we make Asian jokes, we make Hispanic jokes. Oh, but as soon as you
we're not allowed to anymore.
Yeah. But as soon as you make a black or white joke, all of a sudden, oh my God, that's I can't believe you just did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here with that. And then, like you said, if it's funny, it's funny. But if you just being mean and insulting, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the next question. All right. So, should the president be earning billions in crypto while in office?
No. 100% no. But I don't think that he is anyway.
I don't think he is.
I mean, I'm sure that World Liberty Financial cashed out, and I'm sure they made a bunch of money. I'm sure that, I'm sure that Eric and Don Jr. are using the Trump name to earn significant amounts of money. I'm certain of that. Hunter Biden was allowed to do it. Why should the Trump family be any different? And just because Joe Biden didn't make it, well, guess what? Donald Trump didn't either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I know that they were able to track $1.4 billion. I know they were able to track profits totaling $1.4 billion for World Liberty Financial.
Yeah.
But that's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the president of the United States. He's doing president of the United States level shit. He's not out here spending $1.4 billion and living the good life. He was already living a good life anyway. And, crypto has turned him from being a bad businessman, but great actor, into being a decent businessman because he made a bunch of money off of something. This is the first time he's made a bunch of money. I mean, you go back and you look through history and you look at every company that he's bankrupted, every business entity that he's been able to, he was not a good businessman. In 30 years, he turned a $430 million inheritance from his father into a $430 million empire that was cash poor, that he valued at billions of dollars. That maybe.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of billionaires, they deal in debt anyway.
Yeah, he's not a great businessman. Never was a great businessman. Has never been a smashing, crushing businessman. But he knows real estate. He's done an okay job at real estate, not a great job, but an okay job at real estate so that he can still keep himself afloat. He can still keep himself relevant. And he's got enough chutzpah or panache or whatever you want to call it, that as an entertainer or as a businessman, people like and respected him in many different ways. And everybody felt like he was this, this crazy guy that had all this money, like no matter what, but he was not a great businessman. Crypto has made him a good businessman because he's been making money, or at least his family has been making money.
I think it's
he should benefit.
I think he said, matter of fact, I think he said the kids were running it.
They are,
or whatever. Yeah.
They are.
So it's here or there. Fuck me, you, or anybody watching can go make a shit coin right now, and if you made $1 billion off of it, are you gonna be complaining? Is it wrong that we made $1 billion just because somebody else? A lot of the haters is upset that their shit coins didn't fucking run.
Let me also say this: this was a grift. Okay, so we should still at least acknowledge
A lot of shit coins are grift. Shiba Inu was a grift.
It was a grift. Like that was just a grift to get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So, we should at least acknowledge that it was a grift while still understanding that it's not Donald Trump it's just a Trump meme coin, the Melania meme, all of those kind of things. Like it was a cash grab. It was a grift, but it really wasn't coordinated by Donald Trump. He's not sitting on pump fund launching fucking meme coins. That's nonsense. That's insanity.
I can just see him. He's on a live doing guys, this is going to be huge.
We're going to launch Baron. Going to do bigly numbers.
Diamond hands.
Here's where we should, if we're going to have a problem with it, here's where we should have a problem with it, okay? The liquidity extraction of everything that they've touched has been to the insiders and to the already existing millionaires who have supported Donald Trump along the way, okay? All he did was give them a bunch of money and by the way, a bunch of your money, my money. They extracted liquidity out of this project, and they extracted it from all of us. And by the way, you want to know why crypto's dead? Trump meme coin, Melania meme coin. Barron was out there for a little while. They ran up and they extracted tons of money out of people. And look where they are now. They look like every other meme coin in the tank, way, way down. People lost their livelihoods over these meme coins, and Donald Trump doesn't care about that. He doesn't give a shit about you. And I say that over and over again. And I think people, because you're in like the MAGA bubble, I don't think you understand that. He doesn't care about you at all. He cares about America. He does care. I mean, like there's things he does care about. He does care about America. He wants America to be the greatest country that there ever was. Okay. He wants his kids to be healthy and wealthy. There's a whole bunch of different things that he certainly absolutely wants. Problem is he doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
That's it. He doesn't care about you. He cares about you voting for him. He cares about you being told. He cares about how he can get you to react. He does care about that, but it's so he can use you for something later. And by the way, that doesn't mean that he's any different from any other politician.
Exactly.
Every politician is doing the same thing. It's the same grift, but he's doing it and making billions of dollars potentially for when he gets out of office. He's already got $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't think politicians should have meme coins, because there's too many ways that you can manipulate it. It'd be the same thing as if they had their own business
but it's the same thing if we say let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. We don't think people in those sort of positions shouldn't be allowed to trade stocks. They can heavily manipulate some stocks. Whether people want to realize it or not, they can by passing certain bills that allow companies to operate a certain way.
And one of the things about people like Nancy Pelosi is, like, people are like, well, how did a woman who has a $273,000 job, how does she now have $180 million? I mean, good question, dum-dum. But when you marry your husband and your husband has 179 million, you now have 180 million. Stop being stupid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things that for me drive me out of my mind, is because people are being so deliberately irresponsible in the way that they critique stuff. Like AOC. How does AOC have $36 million? She even came out and was like, holy shit, I got $36 million. Where?
Yeah.
She doesn't have $36 million, but can also have a book deal. I mean, Bernie Sanders got a couple $1 million off a book deal. I mean, you have a book deal. There's plenty of different ways that you can make money in addition without having to do trading. But like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, they want to ban, there are people that want to ban trading. There are people who are actually in this game to actually be in this game. And for right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of those people, you know. What's the name? I just fucking said Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC. They're not in it for the grift. They're in it for the game. Like, they're playing, they're the not supposed to be corrupt people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who Gerald Miller is, by the way. The fuck is Gerald
is he?
Miller?
I think he's a football player, ain't he?
Well, I don't know if he's. I mean, if let's see, Gerald Miller, professional boxer and former kickboxer. Oh shit!
Oh, the guy that had his wig flipped off.
What happened to him?
What? He was wearing a hairpiece and he got uppercutted, and that thing went.
Holy shit! He sure did. Oh my god! There's a video of it.
Yeah.
The guy punches him and the hairpiece just comes off. Holy shit! That is awesome. Oh, shit. Oh god, he punched his wig off. Holy shit.
Oh, he tried it.
Awesome.
Oh
my god, the guy punched him in the head and laughed at him. Oh my god. That is awesome. Holy shit.
Oh,
that's
man.
Amazing.
All right, next question. What will happen after Fulton County was raided?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing will happen because they didn't do anything wrong. The one thing that I think that they should be penalized for is there were 5, I want to say that there were something like 5 pages of votes that did not get properly signed off on for certification.
Yeah, but they're replaying the video. They're replaying a lot of the same videos. They're talking about the after hours when they were supposed to have been done counting, and they pulled like 6 suitcases out from under the table, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, whether they did something, whether they didn't do something, ain't shit gonna happen. All it is a distraction piece, and nothing gonna happen with that.
Well, and here's the thing. They didn't do anything. So it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is perception. And it's irresponsible for the president of the United States to be creating conspiracies where none actually exist. And by the way, if we just look at first of all, nothing's going to happen because no laws were broken, except again, if you don't certify, if you don't sign off, you don't certify that, there is a penalty, but it doesn't invalidate people's votes. What Donald Trump is wrestling with and what he's blaming the government for is the fact that people just don't like him or respect him. I mean, that's really, and that drives him nuts because he has a need to be liked. He has a desperate need
at the same time, though, maybe possibility in the realm of just pointing fingers and making us all aware of some kind of election integrity. That's the only thing I could figure. But like I say, at the end of the day, whether it happened, whether it didn't happen, nothing's going to happen with that. It's
the way I see it is actually very, very simple. The same guys who are telling you that blockchain technology is the future are telling you that you should only be able to vote in person. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
if you don't want somebody voting by mail or something like that, like I understand.
Even if it's a few people going to multiple counties and voting in multiple counties and stuff like that, if you're doing stuff like that, you are committing crimes.
Absolutely.
Like I say, there's a small handful, and of course, those small handful of people that are doing these weird things, during the voting process, it's shedding light. But and definitely in person, over the web, however you want to do your voting, as long as they are doing all their checks and balances when it comes to voting, I really don't think that should matter. But I think the biggest part of that is it goes back to a lot of the immigration discussions where you having people that aren't even registered that going to vote for people. You know what I'm saying? Where if you're illegal, I'm sorry, you don't have a place, you don't have a vote in this race. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Yep.
That's the law. And in the law, we should be enforcing that law.
So here's what the weird part to me for all this is, it's very difficult. Like if you vote in 2 different counties, you will be caught. Pretending like you're not being caught is just ridiculous. What people rely on in those contexts a lot of times is they're relying on you not understanding and knowing how this all works. Like if you voted in 2 counties, they're going to find you because you used your information twice. They're going to find you. And if they don't find you because it was not you and somebody else stole your information and voted in a different area or something like that, they're going to find that person. Like that's, voter fraud, the ballot harvesting, which that's what people, if you have a big problem, here's what this is the way I look at it. And, tell me where I'm wrong. Okay. 90-year-old woman living in a nursing home. Does she have a right to vote? She has as much right to vote as you or me, right? She can't get to a ballot. So people come and pick up all their ballots at a nursing home. That's a felony. Fuck you.
As long as that's the case.
But that's my point is, my point is what they don't want, what Republicans largely don't want is they don't want people to have their votes picked up because they don't want everybody voting. Because what happens when everybody votes? Republicans lose. I mean, when you break it down by people, okay, 71% of America, the domestic output of our country, 71% of it comes from blue counties. Our domestic production, let me say that again, 71% of our domestic production comes from blue counties in America. That means that only 29% of our domestic production in the United States comes from red counties. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't keep it.
I mean, the answer is because it's big cities, and the more you're in big cities and densely populated areas, I think the more liberal you tend to be because the more education you have, and we shouldn't say it as education, but the more schooling you have, and the more indoctrinated into a system of quote unquote equality and fairness you get. If you and me are out in your little fucking shithole neck of the woods and standing on top of a goddamn mountain, and everybody around you, you know who they voted for.
I like my country living.
But you know who all your neighbors voted for.
Yeah.
But if you live near the Darrell Griffith Center in Louisville, guess who you would have voted for? Most likely, you would have voted Democrat. Most likely, because you'd be in a densely populated city and you would have more people interacting and you would have more engagement and you would think more about you would think less about
all that
you think less about yourself and more about your community when you're in a big community. And I think that's why that happens. That's why
I gotta kind of disagree there, man, because I think and especially nowadays, maybe that was the case when we were younger. But I think nowadays that even in densely populated areas, there's more selfishness going on than anything else. So you're not necessarily thinking about your community, how you can help your community, and how you can be a bigger part of your community. It's everybody's out for themselves right now, and that's one of the biggest disconnects in our society right now. Is everybody's out for themselves.
But that's everybody. Then I probably said that wrong. That's not what I mean. Yeah. You have a better sense of community in your little top of the mountain fucking castle. You have a better sense of community for the people around you.
Yeah.
From an engagement standpoint. But from an educational standpoint, from an indoctrination standpoint, when you have more opinions closely like in your realm, you tend to be more liberal. That's all. That you just end up being more liberal. You're more tolerant of other people. You're less isolationist. Doesn't mean that your community isn't your community is super tight. An inner city community is not necessarily more tight. They just have more information flowing through them because there's more interaction for them from different people over the course of a day, which is why there's more blue. That's why in the bigger cities, they end up being more blue over time. Even in Texas, Houston's a Democratic stronghold. You know what I'm saying? Like major large cities are typically Democratic strongholds, even in red states, because when you get together in these densely populated areas and you share like-minded opinions, you want quote unquote freedom and equality, and you want everybody to have a chance, and all those different things that are supposed to be, they aren't really, but they're supposed to be those democratic principles. So you end up being more liberal because you want to treat everybody fairly, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I mean. I don't mean that your society is better than their society or anything like that.
I think there's pluses and minuses to both, because even when you have too much, even in areas where you do get all that information, or you got all these like-minded, it's not necessary. All that information isn't always necessarily true, which can construe the whole, which can throw a wrench in everything that's supposed to be positive.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the same as like, look, just because I got a dick doesn't mean that I don't have titties and it's difficult for me to swim. But you should let me compete with the girls. My wiener helped me a little bit, maybe.
It's a rudder.
Yeah, it's a rudder. I mean, there are things that are problems that, you know, that you take for granted, or that you just say, all right, well, that's not something that's gonna, you know.
Yeah.
But again, you're manipulated by people, you're manipulated by media, you're manipulated by everyday circumstances. And that just leads to you, if you're in a city, just being more blue, just being more liberal minded than if you live in a rural community. Also, religion becomes less important in the bigger city than in the smaller communities. You know, there's certain different things.
I can actually, I can see that.
Well, and by the way, when you get in that small community and you embrace religion, whether you're a church going person or not, people around you are, and they embrace that, and they have their faith, and they have their quote unquote homestead, and you know all these different things,
you know, the values, and you know, they hold on to that stuff.
Absolutely. Those erode when you're in the big cities, and part of the erosion of those leads you to think more liberal minded, because you're in a hive, and that hive mind has to take over, and that hive mind kind of is the liberal principle.
Yeah. So
what's the next goddamn question?
Moral compass goes away. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Selmo as the Epstein files mentioned BTC. It's not a good look. What y'all's takes on it? It's a hoax, and it's part of the manipulation to destroy crypto, in my opinion.
Also, it was very true that Jeffrey Epstein was an early Bitcoin adopter. He was also somebody who was funding Bitcoin in a lot of different ways at different points. He was Blockstream. He was the part early on.
I mean, mainly I was talking about what is the hoax is that email that he created. He created Bitcoin.
Yeah, he is not the person that created Bitcoin.
Yeah,
he is not the person that created Bitcoin. He was just somebody who was fascinated by digital assets, who thought that this was a pretty good opportunity for the future, and he could see the payment rails and the opportunity that crypto represented to change the way money was transacted. And the reason that I don't think it's that important is because what Jeffrey Epstein, so for anybody who doesn't understand who Jeffrey Epstein was the best money launderer on the planet. That's what his job was. For anybody who to this point didn't understand where his money came from or how he got rich or anything like that, he was working at like JP Morgan, and it just turned out he was the best person to hide assets in the Cayman Islands, in wherever you wanted your money hidden. He was the best. And it was to the point that the JP Morgan people made him like a junior vice president and put him in charge of money laundering, basically. So he was really good at it. So that's where his money came from. And that's why cryptocurrency was so important to him, because it was another method of money laundering he was able to use.
Yeah. It goes,
so not a good look for crypto, but he was not the person behind.
But at the same time, there's a lot of nefarious people that was in crypto. That doesn't make crypto bad. But of course, people don't, you know, a lot of people don't understand that, and they're just like, oh my God, it's Epstein. Let me sell my Bitcoin. You know, like, come on, man, it's craziness. What do you say? It also helps in the South when your dad and brother. Look, that don't really happen. That's a that actually happens in inner cities more than it happens out here. I'm not going. Come on now. Let's see. Next question. All right, AOC legit runner for presidency or running joke?
Oh God, yes.
I think it's a joke.
AOC is going to be their first female president.
Oh, Jesus Christmas. I hope not.
Why?
I do not like her viewpoints. And
which viewpoint do you not like?
God damn it. See, you didn't put me on the spot. All right.
The reason I'm putting you on the spot is because she's actually a very sensible person who's been working with Republicans and Democrats. And despite the fact that she's openly part of, I don't remember what they were called, like the squad or something like that.
The squad.
She was only part of the squad in so much as they all came in together. While Ilhan Omar and some of these other, what was her name? Presley. What's the goddamn name? Ayanna Presley. All these people that came in at the same time. AOC is the one that governs. AOC is the one that negotiates. AOC is the one that sponsors bills with Republicans, that works with people across the aisle to try to make something happen. Now, the fact that she's outspoken and boisterous is why you should be looking at her and saying she is the future of politics in the United States. The place where we should be concerned is, has she been corrupted? And I don't think that she has, not yet. But she's probably going to be at some point. Like there's probably some point where we're going to be looking at her a little different than we do right now. But she is a presidential contender. And in fact, she's a presidential contender in 2028, I would bet.
I don't know. It's a lot of the videos that I've seen of her debating and not necessarily debating, but like her interviews with a lot of these like different what do you when she's in the seats? Oh my God, I can't think right now. Brain frog.
Committee.
She's
in committee.
Yeah, when she's in these different committees and interviewing different people, like a lot of her responses are very, I think, extreme leftist, and it doesn't resonate with me.
So what my opinion of that is, what she's doing is just like everybody else. Ayanna Presley did it. Ilhan Omar does it. Jim Jordan does it every fucking day. Mark Warner does it. Everybody in Congress, they're gotcha moments. She's looking for that gotcha, that viral moment to make people listen to her, whatever it is, to listen to whatever it is that she said and be like, oh yeah, that's why they're bad people, because it gets more votes. When she's not doing that, then, I mean, here, look, it didn't stop you from voting for Donald Trump to know some of the things that he said that were recorded.
Yeah.
And look, if you agree.
Well, I've said, but I mean, you talking, come on.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What matters is your politics and your policy. And here's the thing with AOC. She's going to be a candidate in 2028. 2032 is when she'll actually probably get a nomination, maybe 2036, because she'll be a little bit older at that point. She's a little bit young to most likely to be a serious presidential candidate for a lot of Americans. And just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's going to have to rehabilitate her reputation. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the person that you should be worried about becoming president, because Marjorie Taylor Greene right now is really starting to cook.
Yeah.
Disassociate herself with MAGA. She's called Donald Trump. She's even released some of the threats that he's made to her.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit. Like she is literally America first. She's not pretending America first so that she can help her billionaire friends. She literally is the person that we need. So is AOC, by the way. Like if you could put those two together on a ticket, that is a winning ticket. Now, they're going to be opposed in most everything in the way that they see things, but AOC is going to evolve. People become more Republican as they get older, or they see things a little bit more Republican when they get older. When we have a little bit more data, one of the problems with the data that we have right now is you have a lot of people out here who are, again, the transgender issue. She is on the side of it should be their choice. And you know what? I understand why, because you should be free in America, right? But women shouldn't be beat up by dudes dressed in dresses because they've decided to call themselves a woman. So there has to be
I also don't even with, with supporting the trend, I have no problem with it. But when you are giving your 3-year-old, medicines to transition them, I think that is wrong.
You should be. I mean, look, the law says 18. Another law says 21. Maybe we can make some kind of accommodation. When you're 21 years of age, you can do whatever. But yeah, you should not. But here's the problem. The problem is we were told that being bullied is bad for you. But what we didn't tell everybody, which is clearly evident and obvious at this point, is not being bullied is even worse for you. And that's something that I think people are going to wrestle with that one for a long time, because that is true on so many levels. Like I feel bad for any kid getting bullied, but I feel worse for the kids who are not being bullied right now, because they're not learning how to defend themselves. They're not learning what it means to stand up for themselves. They're not learning what they need to know to survive. And that's why they take their parents to their job interviews. And that's an extreme circumstance, I know, but it happens. That's why they're not prepared to debate somebody. That's why silencing people is easier. You know what I mean? Like, that's all those little things. So, I just, as a society, and we will come back around. We will come back around as a society. It's just that, right now we're just in this weird sort of space. But ultimately, AOC, she's a presidential candidate. She's a serious one. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Both of those could be the first female president. We are that close to that moment. And Donald Trump's making it easy right now for people to say, well, maybe a woman wouldn't be so bad, because, what we do is we go from extremes. We go from sensible Barack Obama, who, policy-wise or not, he was a sensible, well-spoken, very intelligent sounding guy that had dignity in the way that he spoke, to a whore in Donald Trump, who just says whatever the fuck he thought. Back to Joe Biden, who was that sensible guy who had moments where he called people Jack and said, "Here, scratch my legs, little black kid."
That's not sensible. That's I remember that. But the hairs on my, let's stroke the hairs on my legs.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he didn't mean anything by it. But that's wild, But he's a very old man. But he was sensible. Here's the thing. He worked with everybody. Whether you like what happened for the last 4 years, he worked with everybody. He didn't just shit on every Republican everywhere. He wasn't that guy. Now that whore's back in office for another 4 years of acting like a whore. You know what I mean? Like, and by the way, and before that was W, and W, same thing as Barack Obama, just a dignified guy. Maybe he was a little bit weird. Maybe we get some oil and the nuclear, and maybe we can't say nuclear, but he was a sensible sort of guy. And then before that, we had another whore in Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? We go back and forth between all of those. That's what's going to happen. And Selmo says Peter Thiel and JD Vance could be the running mates in 2028. They will not win. JD Vance has a shot. I would put money on JD Vance early. But as the economy starts to grind out, as Donald Trump continues to destroy MAGA, and by the way, at this point, some of you are probably saying to yourself, he's not destroying it, he's making it better. He's making America great again. No, that's not happening. When it starts to happen, when we start to feel it economically, maybe that will change. But as of right now, Donald Trump is going to be like the bell around the neck for JD Vance. JD Vance is not going to be able to win an election after Donald Trump because Donald Trump he does too many things to alienate people like me who are in the middle, people like Vince who are in the middle, because we voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump. He voted for Donald Trump. But there's too many things that he does that are just not good. There's too many things that he does that alienates too many voters. And one thing that he was really good at is stealing coalitions. The Joe Rogan coalition, the Andrew Schultz coalition, the Theo Vaughn coalition. He was able to get that message out. And JD Vance will probably try to do the same thing, but he's going to have to run on the results of what Donald Trump is doing. He's going to have to run on killing Americans in the street. That's not a good look. Even if you disagree with it, doesn't matter. Enough people agree that their eyes work and they're watching the videos and they're seeing what's happening. There's enough people that agree that, Alex Preddy was murdered, that Renee Good was murdered. And like, I probably would have shot Renee Good myself. You know what I'm saying? Like when she started pulling away, you can't see it from the rear of the vehicle, of course, but from the front of the vehicle. And by the way, that guy wasn't in any danger. Like it didn't even look like he was in any danger, but that's not the point. The point is, for me, it looked like she was attacking. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
When you look at it from the right angle, but for most people, she was murdered in the street. I mean, is that something that you're allowed by the police to shoot somebody for? I think so. But a lot of people disagree. Yeah. And by the way, if Donald Trump didn't show compassion for Renee Good and didn't say this is a tragedy, he's going to lose support. And what did he do? Fuck her.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand. He's playing to his own base. He's playing to the people that he already won. When we get to the election cycle, you're going to have to play to a larger base of people. When we get to that spot, I don't think JD Vance can recover from Donald Trump. JD Vance is another person that I would say is a 2032 guy. 2028 is probably going to go back to Democrats at this point as we're going right now.
Yeah, but still, it's only year one.
Well, you have to finish everything that Donald Trump is doing, which is going to be to deregulate a bunch of stuff, which is going to poison the environment. Even if you're not seeing it today, I assure you, it happened in 2017 to 2021.
But even like stuff that was put in place, like DEF, like that was that's a scam. DEF for like diesel engines. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking scam. It's a scam that was put into place, and it puts out more pollutants than what they're trying to save.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
And then here,
and even the process of making it, like,
here's the other part. He's going to cripple. He's Elon Musk has been trying. I know Elon Musk is trying, but renewables, he is dumping on renewables in catastrophic ways. And JD Vance believes in renewables.
There's the battery plant down here, right here south of Louisville, like that Ford built. They spent whatever is like $1 billion or whatever to build this place, and they're using it for storage because kind of moved away from it. And it's like,
and so there's Griffin Center.
Yeah, that's jobs lost because they didn't hire the people that they was expecting to hire and all this other stuff, and then that's wasted money. I don't know. Like I say, there is definitely a lot of positives and negatives, and
right. The negatives are gonna be very loud in the next election. Donald Trump is screwing his party right now. Doesn't mean he won't pivot. Doesn't mean as we get to this next election cycle. But here's the thing. If you go watch, and I still watch these guys, if you go watch Joe Rogan does not support Donald Trump. Andrew Schultz does not support Donald Trump. Everybody that helped Donald Trump get elected, with the young people, the crypto, everybody is turning on him, and they will continue to turn because he's not doing what he said. He's not performing and by the way, even if it was unrealistic, they're going to hold him to a different standard. Okay. Yeah. When he says no tax on tips, or was that what it was? No tax on tips. Oh, no, yeah. Only tips. Like $2,000.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that. No tax on overtime.
up to a certain limit. It's like, and then it's a tax credit. It's not actually
right.
It's not an actual, yeah. So
you got like there are enough. These people are going to reject MAGA coming into it as it stands right now, and there's nothing that he's doing is going to make it better at this point. Now, again, that could change in a year, that could change in 6 months, that could change next month.
Yeah.
But it's Donald Trump. He's 80 years old. He's not going to change. Everybody around him is going to change to fit what he wants. So there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a reckoning here. So, and that's going to be that the Republicans are going to lose the House for sure. They might lose the Senate as well, the way the votes are lined up right now.
Yeah.
Here's what I think will happen. If Republicans or if Democrats do take office and they try to start impeaching Donald Trump, they will lose the election. So I'm going to save who's going to win the election in 2028 until we know who the contestants are on The Price is Right. And then we're going to see whether they try to impeach Donald Trump. If he's been crying, they're going to impeach me, they're going to try, they're not going to do it, but they're going to try, and then they don't try, he's going to look like a moron.
Yeah.
That's better than anything that they could do,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to disagree, man. That whole 4-year cycle, I think the 4-year cycle is
broken.
It's definitely broken. I mean, it's gotten out of the norm, and especially because there's so many entities now involved and publicly involved, and what I mean. It's just I think the 4-year cycle is totally out the window right now. I don't think.
Well, it doesn't mean like for Mike, just to be clear, Wintermute sold off on October 10. They crashed the market originally, and now everybody else immediately, the 4-year crypto bros, the 4-year Bitcoin cycle bros, they started selling too because they saw that as a top signal. So there is an unwinding right now and a drawdown of liquidity in this market. There really is. There's no debate to that. The cycle is certainly broken, but it's not going to be the bear market. We are in a bear market. I mean, we just minted a couple days ago whatever I was looking for as a technical indicator right here. The pivot from April of 2025 to today, when we went all the way down, we broke the upward trend. Like this, we finally broken the upward trend over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So from a technical standpoint, we're definitely in a bear market. The RSI is at historic lows, like we're in a bear market. Just because the Bitcoin price isn't in that area, guess what? Ethereum price is in a bear market. What I think we're getting is we're about to hit the super cycle. CZ Binance, Tom Lee, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that we're in a that we're about to hit a super cycle. What we just had is what we're having right now is a very short bear market. Just to be clear, in 2021, we had 2 tops, right? Both of those tops crashed 45% within like 37 days and 41 days. Okay. Like that's how long it took for the crash to 40%. It took 115 days for the same crash to happen on this one. We're an extended cycle. So there's going to be a reversal and we're going to make our way back up very soon. The other part to that is to remember, look at the capital that's in risk assets right now or safe haven assets. It won't stay in gold. Gold's at $4,700. Silver is at $71. Silver probably settles somewhere in the neighborhood of $35.
Yeah, because both
all of that money that comes out got to go somewhere. Some of it will go back into crypto. You look at gold. Gold lost in one day more market cap than crypto's ever had in it. And then it pumped again, and then it started dumping one more time. It really looks like, by the way, it looks like a meme coin where it's double topping right now.
Yeah.
Like, all of those things. And that safe haven is going to end up coming back into crypto. If you look at, by the way, I have a chart here. I'm going to show it to you right now. The chart, that is. XAU and Dow Jones. Okay, now we're going to zoom out here just a little bit because I want you to see how crazy this is. All right, now share my screen, Dottie. Okay, so this actual candle chart, that's Bitcoin. Okay, look at the catastrophic. This is October 10. This is when we got the big dump, right? Look at how catastrophic this dump has been. It's been downhill ever since. But now let's move that down and let's look at what's happened to the rest of the market. This green line right here is silver. Silver has been skyrocketing. Gold is gold. So gold right here, it's not necessarily skyrocketing, but from here, from this spot right there, we're up. Okay, so silver is currently up 49% since October 10. And I don't have it exactly right. I think it might be October 8th that I'm looking at, but you get my point. It's the same spot. Silver is up 49%. Gold is up 20%. The Dow Jones is up 5%. NASDAQ, which was pumping, is now down 1.7%, but it was up 5% just like the rest of the market until the last unwind that we just had a couple of days ago. And by the way, when we take this and let's remove all of these, because now we know that the only market that's really, really dumping is tech and digital asset, right? That's what's dumping. Now let's look at M2 money supply. Look at M2 money supply. M2 money supply has been booming and continuing to go up, 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 up and away, which means that more money continues to enter the market. It's just not coming into crypto. It's not coming into tech stocks. It's going into safe haven. And by the way, safe haven eventually rolls over to Bitcoin when we get that top and we're overbought and it starts to break down. It didn't when gold dumped the other day and silver dumped the other day. We didn't get that money coming in yet, but guess what? That's the rotation cycle. That's the way that it works. So even though it didn't happen, it's going to happen. So we are getting ready to head into another wild, out of nowhere, crazy crypto run. We're getting closer and closer to it.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, no shit. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Let's see. We'll try to get through these quick. Let's see.
Mike literally sold the top of silver and gold. Nice.
Hey, that's a good lick, man. Omar attack real staged.
The attack was real. As a matter of fact, here's what I think happened. I think the guy was just an agitator and he just wanted to do it for a viral moment. He took a picture with her beforehand.
Yeah.
He was dating a black Somali woman 3 years ago. She dumped him. And then he got really, and I mean really, The Rock means really fond of the N-word right after that.
Uh-huh.
And he started talking shit about Somalis from that point. So he doesn't like Ilhan Omar because also he is a major Donald Trump supporter. I think that what happened was, this is not, and by the way, it's not about MAGA, it's not about Donald Trump. This is about him, I think, looking for a viral moment. Because what did he throw, apple cider vinegar on her or something like that?
Yeah. A lot of people were saying that it was bacon juice.
Right, or something like that. Like
so
just to be offensive.
But did you when they did that first like camera shot on him, did you see like how he was like, I think like dude had to have been on drugs or something, like because he had that
probably. The fact that she was ready to go bust him in the fucking mouth was wild.
I think
like she's walking up on him.
I don't know. I'm
like
split.
She was ready to fight.
I think it was fake. I think the whole thing was staged.
If it was staged, And
why didn't? Because okay, so if it wasn't, why didn't they pull her as a congresswoman? Why did they not pull her immediately out when she got fucking sprayed with
are you
this
talking about
mysterious substance?
Are you talking about the Secret Service that she doesn't have because she's a congressman and not a president? Who's going to pull her?
She's got security. Well, she's got security. She didn't take her blouse. Like
who's going to pull her?
Her
Go
security.
back to the video.
She's got security.
Who's standing around her? Aides. Like it's a bunch of women. Like they even had the woman that was sitting next to her because that lady nodded and said something like, yes, like this is the moment where the attack begins. She was signaling to like, this is a dumb shit that people do. And by the way, if there was a famous Frenchman, a famous French guy, I think his name was Juicy Smoulier.
Juicy.
Famous Frenchman. If the attack if they were faking attacks, we would have known by now. We would have known.
I still think it was staged.
So she went out. So she went out and found the one guy who hates Somalis and been using the N-word for 3 years, and has been supporting Donald Trump. And she got him to say, "Hey, attack me. It's going to be really cool, and then we're going to arrest you, and then it's going to be awesome for you." Really?
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen to him. I don't think it's going to get forgotten about, and nothing's going to happen to him. I honestly, in my opinion, I think that was some sort of ploy or distraction.
So what you're saying is that this is the Donald Trump's ear of Democrats?
I don't know. It could be. I didn't see his ear.
Well, you can see the whole ear because none of it came off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I say? Well, I meant to say it was an AR-15 bullet, right? Which would just, like just tap you and cause a little bleeding. Like it wouldn't rip your ear off.
Nah, the velocity. No, it. Oh man.
I'm just messing around. We were ready to do that. But my point is, these things are not faked. There was an assassin that shot Donald Trump. He didn't shoot him in the ear. I don't think that the bullet grazed his ear. I think that the bullet hit something else, and the ricochet probably nicked his ear.
Yeah, it's quite possible. It's like say I wasn't there. I didn't see the ballistics. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know unless you was there and you got.
We create conspiracy about it.
Yeah, it's straight conspiracy. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all conspiracy because everything on TV is fake nowadays. So we don't know. Mostly everything's fake. But I mean, in my opinion, I think it was staged.
Okay, so the man who staged an attack is still in jail.
Okay.
He's been ordered to remain in custody.
That's fine and that, but we still don't know the whole story. We don't know.
I wonder if he's in Epstein's cell. Huh.
I'm serious. I think it's going to get blowed over, passed over, and people are going to forget about it. And it's nothing's going to come about that as far as him getting persecuted or anything.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I know that he's not in Epstein's cell because if he was in Epstein's cell, Donald Trump would send somebody there to kill him. You know what I mean?
I don't think Epstein killed himself either. He's sitting on an island.
Well, so then you're saying that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are lying,
possibly
for who after supporting Donald Trump for all this time?
Ain't no telling, man. It's politics. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Oh my God. But
seriously though, I in my wholeheartedly, unless there's something that some evidence that comes out wildly that he just 100%, maybe if he 100% pleads guilty to whatever that they're going to charge him with, I don't know, man. In my opinion, like it was the timing, the convenience. I think it was staged.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I agree with Latama. It looked the same way. Like I see it, and I'm like, this bitch is walking up on this guy like she's about to punch him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with her? That's what, to me, like him reaching up and just trying to spray something on somebody. I mean, look, if I'm on MAGA, I get my tiny little half-inch penis in a twist all the time over people throwing cans of tomato soup at pictures in the Louvre.
Yeah,
right?
That's dumb. It's not even the real pictures.
On glass, like, right. Like, and this guy is throwing apple cider vinegar at Ilhan Omar, and we're like, oh, well, the soup is real, but this is fake. Like, that's just, look, people are sometimes not real good at being in front of a camera. And, you know, I mean, not all of us can be ICE agents murdering somebody in the street. You know what I mean? Like, we can't all look cool as we're killing somebody. Like, some of us just look like assholes that are nervous because we're about to walk up on a congressman and squirt them with apple cider.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he could. I mean, he could have picked. It could have been. He could have picked any substance, but
I wonder if apple cider was supposed to be offensive to Muslims or something. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't read the news anymore.
No
so
idea.
I have no idea. We have any other questions?
Yes.
All right. Omar is. Omar.
We got two more.
I don't think it was fake. You think it was faked. So I win again. Jesus Christ, I've won every one.
All right. Was the UN pulling or was pulling from the UN a good thing? And what happens when it runs out of money?
Is pulling from the UN a good thing? No. If they run out of money and they dissolve, do I give a shit? Also, no. I'm going to take, look, we're not the world's police. And we shouldn't be the world's police. And also, we shouldn't be funding everybody in the world except Americans, which we can't seem to get funding through for, you know? Yeah. And by the way, I say that understanding the necessity. Like, for example, I think we should be supporting Ukraine against Russia because I think that Russia is a bad actor on the national stage. So I think that we should be supporting the Ukraine. I think that we should also be supporting anybody who is opposed to the government of Iran. I think that we should be supporting those people. However, the one thing that I have learned over the last 30-ish years is that destabilizing the Middle East is stupid and gets us drawn into long, prolonged things that cost way more than they should. What I think we should be, and by the way, again, I know that it is necessary to help people, especially other countries, because at some point in the future, there's probably something beneficial for the United States in regards to that. But I don't think that we hold these other nations accountable for what the United States should be getting out of the relationship. And therefore, I don't think that there's any value in the UN, but I don't think that we should leave it. I think we should just, I think we should be staying there. We should just be refusing to give any more money than anybody else is giving. That we should be like, you know, we're not funding this anymore. We're going to fund whatever percentage we're supposed to fund. And that is the absolute minimum that we're going to do. We're not going to send troops into these hotspot regions. You're going to have to rely on everybody else to do that. We're just not going to do that. We're going to protect America. We're going to support you. And that's it. That's my opinion of the way that it should be. Not a direct pullout, but certainly not just sending American men and women to die in the name of somebody else's war.
I couldn't have said it any better. I wholeheartedly 100% agree with that.
Damn, I'm right again. Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, it's a lot of viewpoints and stuff, man. It crosses over. You know, we may disagree on certain things, but I mean, it's like, I don't know, rational thinking versus, I don't know.
I don't even watch and read the news anymore. I do get my stuff from X at this point. I know that most of the news that I get is tainted because Elon has the algorithm turned up to make you mad. I mean, that's really what it is. But that's where I get my news now. And every once in a while, I'll look at some other stuff You know what I mean? Like I do have like on my top bar up here, like I think I have, what do I have here? I've got USA Today. I've got The Hill. I've got Fox News, and I've got CNN.
Yeah, I disabled all of those plugins.
So if I need to go look for something, and because I do like crypto every day and I do like Dow Jones and stuff like that, CNN covers that. So I keep CNN up there because they actually cover crypto. So there are things where, you know, I see journalism. When I see journalism that has an opinion, I tune it out and I stop because I don't really care. I don't care what your opinion is. I care what the fact is of the matter.
Yeah.
And I, you know, the Kellyanne Conway was an infuriating person to me. I'm so glad that she's disappeared from society, because instead of telling the truth, she did whatever Donald Trump wanted. And he doesn't want you to know the truth. He wants you to know what he wants you to know. You know, when I have problems with Donald Trump, that's why. It's not because it's the truth or it's a lie. It's because it's what he wants you to know. He does it blatantly and it's right in front of you. At least Obama lied about it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't need to be like, everybody is so polarized right now from politics. Why? Who gives a shit? Somebody's going to be president, support the goddamn president. And when the next president comes along, support the goddamn president. And if you're MAGA, that means even if he happens to be black, and even if his middle name is Hussein. Just because he's a different color than you doesn't mean that he comes from Africa. Doesn't mean that he's an immigrant. Doesn't mean that he wasn't born in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like just a ridiculous nonsense. And by the way, I blame Fox News for that because Fox News, they really learned, like it was maybe not Rupert Murdoch, but whoever he had in charge, they really learned how to turn Americans against other Americans. And
yeah, it's probably a Jerry Springer exec.
Well, that's why MAGA is ultimately going to fail. It's going to transform into something else.
It already has.
Right. Well,
it already has.
I don't know that it has yet. In the good, not in a good way. Not in a good way. Right now, they're hunkered down in the bunker of whatever Donald Trump says is right. Whatever, that's a cult. That's whatever the glorious leader says.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It evolved from an idea to a cult, and I'm not with that cultish behavior because you still have to see the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't just blindly follow shit and not see the bullshit along the way.
America's going to have to come out of that, but they're not going to be able to because there's even here's something crazy. This happened the other day. I cannot believe this happened. Dan Bongino, who was assistant director of the FBI, quit after 1 year, went back to podcasting. Somebody asked him why he was lying to them about something. And he said, well, because Fox News is paying me. I mean, what do you expect me to do? I'm sorry. What did you just fucking say? I mean, they're grifters.
Yeah.
As long as there's money, as long as people are getting paid to lie to other people and gin up reactions from other people, we're cooked.
Yeah.
Until we get a handle, not necessarily on the social media. Like we should not be controlling social media. Elon Musk, if he wants it to be freedom, if he wants freedom of speech on X, no problem. Whatever, do whatever fuck you want to do. If Donald Trump does not on Truth Social want freedom of speech, no problem. It's a private company. Do whatever the fuck you want. If you're a private company, you can associate with whom you choose.
Yeah,
like that is your right. So what freedom of speech represents, what the First Amendment represents, is my ability to walk outside my house, to walk to the government and tell them, I don't like what the fuck you're doing, without people saying he's got a gun and shooting me 10 times. You know, I should be able to do that.
Come on.
I should be able to do
Hey,
that.
if y'all missed that segment, go ahead and rewind the video for that discussion.
But that's my freedom of speech. My freedom of speech is my ability to go tell the government, I don't like what you're doing. My freedom of speech is my ability to go out and worship where I choose. My freedom of speech is my ability to go in my public square and let people know that I'm happy or unhappy. That's my freedom of speech. My freedom of speech is not making sure that I can tell racy little jokes in the dark humor room of Facebook. That's not my freedom of speech. My freedom of speech is not to be able to tell people what I called that one guy who cut me off on the expressway when I was in the car. That's not my freedom of speech. On social media, like social media is not freedom of speech. Social media is a place to gin up anger and divisiveness and for people to engage. And you know, as long as we're not as a society learning and getting better because of that, then we're going to have a problem. And by the way, I think it's people like us, the older people in society, that are the problem. I don't think that the kids ultimately are going to, I think the kids can understand social media or will recognize how social media interacts and their behavior. And they will at some point pretty soon start to kind of reject it, and we'll get to a semblance of normalcy, because right now it's new, it's fresh, and we're all just lying to each other about everything. But at some point pretty soon, I think that it changes. I think that dynamic will end up changing in some ways.
I don't know, because all it takes is the next new hot fucking social media app, and then kids are all over it. You know what I mean? I think
not necessarily for politics. You know, if you said this is a social media platform, no politics, I bet people would flock to it.
Yeah. I'm tired of seeing a lot of bullshit myself.
Call it no poll, NOPOL. And it'd be just no politics. You can talk about whatever you want, just not politics. And then you run filters. If you see the word Trump, nope. If you see the word, what's that bitch's name? Kamala. Nope. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you'd have to police, and you have to come up with a decent way to police it and decide and say, look, openly, this is my AI. This is what it's looking for. If it finds it, we're going to delete it. If you're doing it and you repeatedly do it, you're not going to be allowed on the platform. And if you change your IP and do whatever, we're going to ban that account too. And we're going to use AI to make sure no politics here. You want to post pictures of your kids, you want to post whatever you want to post, go for it. We are a free platform.
That leaves that open for, you know, other you know, stuff, because, you know, as we all know, you know, you've got bots monitoring, you know, even Telegram chats, and people are finding ways around banned words. They're finding ways around like anything that you deem that you don't want in your Telegram. They're finding a way around that. You know what I mean? So it's a damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because people are always going to, there's always going to be somebody in the crowd that's going to ignore the rules, ignore the law or whatever, or ignore policy to do their own thing, to seem like they're more special than everybody else, I guess. I don't know. You know, it's weird. But yeah, hey, I got to get off here. I ain't even ate dinner yet. Appreciate the discussion, man. It's kind of interesting just going, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, we agree on some things. There's some things we agree on, and I mean there's some things that we just don't. But that's the whole point of being able to have an open conversation with people. Even if you don't agree, hey, at least we talked about it.
Yep.
Hopefully
ICE agents in Springfield, Ohio right now for the Haitians.
For the Haitians.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah. Hey, but seriously though, hey, there's people in other countries that eat animals that we don't eat, that we consider pets, and it's not their fault. It's just
here. My point to that the whole time is, why are we even having to have that conversation? That was not true. That was a lie.
Yeah.
Haitians were not eating the dogs. They weren't doing any of that.
No, they were
You know?
they were eating the Canadian geese or some shit like that. I think it was that one was actually true.
I mean, geese are, dark
Yeah,
meat.
them fucking attack birds. Them things are fucking vicious. But
Dude,
man,
do you remember what was that Mexican restaurant that was down on the Ohio River for a long time? Tumbleweed?
oh, tumbleweed. Yeah, it's Tex-Mex.
Do you remember the geese that used to be out there around that tumbleweed?
No.
They were dicks. They were dicks. They would chase people off.
Hey, I had one. I guess I had walked by its nest or whatever. I was walking. As a matter of fact, I was leaving a hotel, walking through the parking lot, and there was this little median, and I didn't notice that there was a nest. This fucking bird comes swooping down, hissing at me like I'm like, oh shit, like I'm trying to get out the way, and it lands. It turns around. It throws its wings up in the air, and it's like running at me and shit. You know what I mean? I don't like them damn. I don't like them birds.
When we got married a long time ago, I took my honeymoon was in Louisville, and we went to Tumbleweed and got attacked by those geese.
Crazy. Yo!
Crazy. Just got attacked by geese. And they were like, yeah, see, we're coming for your ass. See, you know what I mean? Like they were, what is really happening with these fucking geese?
Hey,
so I do this at 6 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
I've been, if you ever want to come on, like I do mine at 6 o'clock at night, just to run a stream. What I've been doing is playing Skyrim.
Nice.
Playing Skyrim while I talk crypto.
You ought to talk. You ought to hop on it Neverwinter with me.
Neverwinter.
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I know what it is. Which Neverwinter?
It's on.
Is it just called Neverwinter?
Yeah.
Is it an MMO?
Yeah, MMORPG. Yeah.
All right, let me see if I got it. Is it on Steam or is it on Epic?
Epic.
Epic.
I think Steam has it too, but I got mine off Epic.
Yeah, I just need to find it. I actually think I have. Like, I think when you said that, I was like,
yeah,
oh,
we're
shit,
talking.
I had that.
It is 10 o'clock. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Quit your bitching.
Don't worry about me.
You better quit your. You know what? I shared pictures with you the other day. You better quit your bitching.
He's got to bring a garbage bag up. I done asked him to bring meat up from the freezer. His phone is dead.
Men are doing stuff.
Men are doing stuff.
Oh, are you? Are you? Don't forget that garbage bag.
All right.
Oh yeah, I got Neverwinter.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got the base game. I don't have anything that goes with it. I just have the base.
No,
game.
yeah. It's just a base game, and you just level up.
All right. Yeah, I got that.
Go through, go on adventures.
Yeah, my library is holy Jesus. I have so many games.
Hey, I'll tell you another good one that I've been playing too. It's called World of Warships. I think I mentioned it to you one time.
Yeah,
I like that. It's cool. I mean, it's a slow paced game, but
I see advertisements for it all the time.
Yeah,
especially on YouTube.
Yeah,
there's like your battleship is about, and like it's just showing. I'm like, oh,
I'm serious. Hey, I got this dope ass battleship. I got this dope ass aircraft carrier. Man, hey, I'm telling you, bro. Oh, and if you do it through Epic, they actually have free bundles that gives you a whole bunch of shit just to start.
Chapel Roan put them titty clicks in Fortnite. I just saw the advertisement right here. Fortnite, what? Chapel Roan on Epic. I'm like, oh man, and that's the girl that was like nude the other day at the Grammys, or was it the Grammys the other day? Go look up Chapel Rome.
Oh, I see it. I see it right here.
And like she had like nipple clamps on her. Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, just some wild like.
They like, look, women don't care anymore. It's like, what the. Yeah, she just had flesh colored pasties on it, had like clamps on it.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
All right, man, I gotta get going. She's upset.
Chill
hey,
out,
it's good.
woman.
Hey, I appreciate everybody that come stopped in. Check this out.
Tell her I commented on her Facebook the other day. Tell her I'm not commenting on her and I'm not liking her Facebook anymore because she rushed me off the goddamn screen. Jackie, I'm over your bullshit.
I'm gonna tell her too. You might get a text.
All right.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, everybody that watched. To make sure, hey, if you haven't already, make sure you if you haven't, make sure y'all follow this guy. It's very, very in-depth thinker and talker. It's lots of comedy. Now, if you haven't already, I appreciate it. I fell out. All right. See y'all later. And right here. We're out.